Welcome back, everybody. Part 3 of our March Madness in College Football 25 series, where we took 64 teams rated by the final AP poll and then the Sagarin ratings after that, including every conference champion, of course, and made our own little bracket out of it. Find out who the true national champion of college football is going to be. Now, we have completed the Midwest Regional and the East Regional. We know 2 of our final 4 teams. Now it is time for us to head out west, see who is going to be joining those teams. I'm going to try, again, not to mention any spoilers about what happened in those other regionals. If you want to go check those out, find out who's headed to the Final Four, please do so. Of course, these are super long, so no offense taken if you want to just jump around and see what ended up happening. But the West region, obviously, our number 1 seed is going to be the Oregon Ducks. Who are they going to be competing against to become our 3rd Final Four team? Let's head over to the bracket. The 1 seed, obviously, the Oregon Ducks, no surprise there. They will be matching up against the 16-seeded University of Texas San Antonio Roadrunners. First round matchup there. The winner of that will go on to face the winner of 8 seed from the Big 12, Kansas State Wildcats, who, I don't know, something about that team. I feel like they could go on a run here, but obviously they're going to have a very tough round 2 matchup. They also have a very, very tough round 1 matchup against the 9 seed from the SEC, the Texas A&M Aggies. Man, I really feel like either of those teams could give Oregon a run. That's a tough one. That's going to be a tough one to call. It should be a fun game. We'll see. Sticking in the SEC for our 5-12 matchup, the 5 seed, the Gamecocks of South Carolina. Of course, they are always pretty dang good in this game, but I think they have a thing that we've seen with some other teams where, like, Nick Harbor, I think you actually have to put him in to really, like, you have to adjust their depth chart for him to fully be effective. We're not messing with any depth charts or playbooks or anything like that, so we'll see how South Carolina can do in this bracket. They will be going against 12 seed from the Big 12 from Lubbock, Texas, the Texas Tech Red Raiders. I could see their offense giving South Carolina some trouble, is what I was trying to say. I think there's a lot of interesting matchups here so far in this West Regional. Down to the 4-13 matchup, the 4 seed, the Clemson Tigers, the ACC champions, will be taking on the Tulane Green Wave, one of my personal favorite teams. I just love their logo, I love their color scheme, I love their name. I like a lot of things about Tulane. Don't love their chances in that matchup. So that top half of the West, I mean, you can make an argument for Oregon, Texas A&M, Kansas State, South Carolina, Clemson. There's a lot of good teams up there. I could see a lot. I could see some chaos happening in that top half of the West bracket. The bottom half, our 6-11 matchup, an SEC battle with the 6 seed Missouri Tigers, who also, another team I feel like could go on a run. I think they're like an 88 overall. Like, they're pretty good. Luther Burden is going to be a huge problem for every team they face. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. They go up against number 11 seed, Arkansas Razorbacks. This one I am super excited for. That Missouri offense against the Arkansas offense. That could be some fireworks. That could be a fantastic game. And either one of those teams could 100% go on a bit of a run here in this bracket. Underneath them, the SEC run will continue for a little bit here. The 3 versus 14 matchup, the 3 seed, Ole Miss, Oxford, Mississippi. Another team I feel like could definitely go on a run and win this entire bracket, going against 14 seed SEC, Vanderbilt Commodores. I mentioned in the first part too, just by the way, obviously in the real NCAA basketball tournament, they like move people around so they're not facing against each other in the same conference and things like that. I didn't really have time for that, so I just got the top 64 and then kind of snaked them around. So the best 1 seed, which was Ohio State, has the worst 2 seed, has the best 3 seed, has the worst 4 seed, just kind of snaked it all around. So that's how we ended up doing the seeding here, and that's ended up getting a lot of SEC teams down in this bracket. Ole Miss and Vandy. Upset there wouldn't be the most shocking thing, but Ole Miss is pretty dang good here. Our 7-10 matchup, speaking of the SEC, yet again, the LSU Tigers as a 7 seed. Tough breaks for our 10 seed, the Iowa Hawkeyes. Offense versus defense in that one. We'll see if Iowa's defense is able to keep up with LSU's offense. Is super fast, very, very good. It'll be a fun little styles clash between those two. Now, the last matchup in the West bracket is going to be 2 seed Georgia Bulldogs. It's going to be hard to pick against Georgia. They are the highest overall team in this game. They're 96 overall. I'm going to be rooting against them. No offense, Georgia fans. I'm going to be rooting against you every single game. And they will be going against number 15 seed, Cincinnati Bearcats. So there is our West Regional. Get your picks in. Who is going to go to the Final Four in this one? I've gone 2 for 2 so far, which I guess is kind of a spoiler if you just watch the beginning of the last one. But I've gotten the Midwest, I was right. The East, I was right. This is a really, really tough one. I mean, there are 5 or 6 teams that could make this Final Four. My eyes are going to Clemson. So I think they'll beat Tulane easily. I think they'll match up well against South Carolina. I think their defensive line could give Oregon troubles. I'm between Clemson and Ole Miss. Because I'm never going to take a 1 seed. I would probably take Oregon here. But I'm never going to take a 1 seed in this. That's not very fun. Clemson, locking it in. Clemson is my pick to go to the Final Four here. But to get this adventure started on the West bracket, first, we got to go Oregon against UTSA. All these games will be played in Las Vegas for the West Regional before we head to San Antonio for the Final Four. I did find out we can do that, so looking forward to that. Oregon, UTSA, the 1 versus 16. Let's get to it. Yeah, no surprise, Oregon finds themselves a pretty solid overall advantage. 95 overall Oregon, 82 overall UTSA. I'd love to see a 16 beat a 1. It's just, you need so many things to go right for that to happen that I don't really see happening in this one. So we're going to go to the Las Vegas Bowl for this region. We'll see. Hopefully, that, I mean, Jacksonville State gave Notre Dame a game in the last one. I mean, like I said, I'm going to try not to say spoilers, but 1 seed Notre Dame beat 16 seed Jacksonville State. There's a little bit of a spoiler for you for the East Regional, but it was a close game. We'll see if UTSA can put up a similar fight here. I would be surprised, but I would be pleasantly surprised if UTSA can get a stop on defense. I think Oregon's offense is going to be really, really good. Their playbook is really good, and of course the players they have on the field are all so good that if that's kind of why I went with Clemson in the Final Four, because I think their defense can give Oregon trouble. Texas A&M might too, if Texas A&M gets by Kansas State. Like, that's a big 8-9 game we got coming up. 3rd and 7, Oregon picks it up pretty easy. Yeah, probably not going to talk about this game a whole heck of a lot. I think Oregon's going to kind of do their thing against the poor Roadrunners in this one. But, yeah, what else was I saying? Yeah, Clemson's defense, especially their defensive line, I think is going to be a big difference maker throughout this bracket. Like, but their offense isn't the best. I already picked Clemson, so I'm locked in on Clemson, but I'm kind of regretting it. This is honestly a tough region to try to pick a winner out of because there's just so many good teams in here. I got to pull it up again here. Of course, they're getting that 3rd and 8. No surprise there. Except Oregon, Texas A&M. Like, realistically, do I expect Kansas State to make a run and get to the Final Four? No. Can I see them pulling off a couple upsets? Sure. Texas A&M, I could 100% see going to the Final Four as the 9 seed. South Carolina, Texas Tech is good, but I don't think they're good enough to really make a full run. Clemson, Missouri, or Arkansas. I think both those offenses are going to be really good that beat anybody. Ole Miss, they're going to be really good. LSU's going to be really good. And of course, you got Georgia waiting as the 2 seed at the bottom. This is a tough one to try to pick a winner out of. Like I said, there's so many ones it could be. Yeah, and Gabriel threw a pick. Okay, UTSA. I'm waiting to see their offense do anything before I get too excited. Like, they got to get points on the board before I really... Well, hold on now. well, hold the phones just a second. They're down to Oregon's 27-yard line. Even a field goal makes it a 1-possession game. But Owen McCown has gotten just nothing going through the air, as I was in the middle of saying, as he rifles a 27-yard touchdown. UTSA has found themselves only down by 3. Can they play defense for a minute and a half here before halftime? That's going to be big for momentum if they can keep Oregon even just to a field goal. I mean, the pass rush is getting in there, though. 3rd and 10. We've seen time and time again in these games, it really comes down to those 3rd downs. Who's getting them? Oregon's going to get them. Oregon is just going to get them. They scored in a minute right down the field on UTSA. Back to a 10-point lead for the Ducks. Quack, quack, quack. 35 seconds for McCown. Can he get anything going before half? Even UTSA getting a field goal, get it back to a one-score game would be huge here. Need something like that. That's exactly what they needed. Now they got a 46-yard kick. It's up. It's good. We got a one-score game at half between the Roadrunners and the Ducks, and UTSA getting the ball. Do we got a game brewing? Do we got a game brewing in our 116 matchup here in Vegas? That would have gone a long way. That would have gone a long way if they could have. And a terrible punt. Oh, I miss the Miami punter. If you guys didn't watch the last part, the Miami punter's a machine. I was hammering that ball. And a big run for Oregon. 3rd and 14 now at UTSA's 20. That's the difference. Who's getting off the field on 3rd down? It has not been UTSA. 3rd and 9 though. I mean, Oregon might go for it. Probably not. They do. And they get it. And they're in for the touchdown. A 14-point lead for the Oregon Ducks. UTSA, great effort. I mean, it's not over yet. We're not going to come out and say this game is over. It's not looking good, but it's not over. They made a great effort there, get it back to 7, had the ball. Looked like they could have put a little bit of a scare in the Ducks, but now another 3 and out. They have to punt it back to Oregon. Let me look at this bracket some more. I got to think about it. I'm locked in on Clemson. Like I said, I can't change my pick from Clemson. But man, there are a lot of teams that can make a run. The bottom half of this bracket is insane. Missouri, Arkansas, Ole Miss. Vandy, maybe. They're really fast. Diego Pavea is good. Potential. LSU, very, very good, especially for a 7 seed. Iowa. Okay, good little pass there, McCown. Running out of time, though. They got to get a touchdown on this drive. Now they got a 3rd and 12 back on their own side of the field. Only gain of 3. Not going to get it done. 4th and 9. McCown got to go for it. He gets it. A little life here still for the Roadrunners, perhaps. Perhaps. Not if you're going backwards with Robert Henry Jr. 4th and 8. Got to go again here. Why? Why, UTSA? Why would you do this? Was that just 3 straight runs to Robert Henry Jr., who I'm pretty sure is their backup halfback? It got to like a 4th and 8, and let's just give it to him again. You know what? You know what they won't see coming? What if we give it to him for a 4th time? What are we doing, UTSA? So 90 seconds left. It looks Oregon is going to be moving on into the round of 32. But yeah, that bottom half, that's like the all-SEC half, right? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the 8 teams in the bottom half of this bracket just happen to be SEC. It's going to be a murderer's row. I'm kind of glad they're all clumped together, though. The last thing I wanted was like an all-SEC Final Four. And I will spoil that if you haven't seen the East Regional. It's not an SEC team, so we don't have an all-SEC Final Four. I'm hoping we don't get one in this. But we might. We just might. All right, Oregon moving on. Next up, the 8-9 matchup, Kansas State and Texas A&M. This could be a fun one. I'm excited for this one. Yeah, this is a pretty dang even matchup. 87 overall, Kansas State, ranked number 17 in this game. 88 overall, ranked number 10, Texas A&M. This is a great 8-9 matchup. This is a crazy 8-9 matchup. It's just kind of hardwired in me to root against the SEC. So I got to be pulling for Kansas State in this one. Let's get him to Vegas and see what happens. A couple of very speedy quarterbacks here. Will Johnson, Kansas State side. Marcel Reed, Texas A&M sides. I believe he's the starter without having to change anything. You used to have to put Reed in, but I think he's the guy in there now. I think that's a big power back Kansas State has. Avery Johnson. I call him Will Johnson. That's the guy from that's Michigan's corner. Well, a quick 3 and out though for the Wildcats. Avery Johnson tries to get a couple runs going on the ground there. Finds no room against the Texas A&M defense, and it is Marcel Reed throwing the ball away back to back. Oh, 1st and 10 popped up. Really confused me there for a second. 3rd and 15. Neither quarterback finding much footing here early on in this one. Reed throws it away twice, tries to run, gets brought down. Ball back to Johnson and the Kansas State Wildcats. Giddens finds some nice running room there. Big gain of 27 down to the 31-yard line. Pass knocked away. Let's see. Oh, Johnson tries to do it himself, comes up just short. A little 6-yard gain on 3rd and 8. But thanks to that run by Giddens, that is enough for a field goal. Put Kansas State up 3-0 early here. Minute 49 left in the first. Texas A&M, Reed throws it away again. 0 for 3, 3 passes thrown away. They might have to start leaning on their running game here. 0 for 4, but at least that pass wasn't thrown away. So you got to take your little wins here if you're Texas A&M. But yeah, they might have to start really leaning on their rushing attack, since Reed has not been able to find anybody yet. And I don't know, maybe... No, Avery Johnson throws it away. Maybe it's a Kansas State defensive line getting after him, making him throw it away. I don't remember their defensive line being that good. Texas A&M's, I think, is pretty good. Kansas State's, I don't remember. 3rd and 4, pass knocked away by the D tackle. Don't see that too often. Texas A&M comes up with another stop. Still down by 3, getting the ball back now. Reed's still looking for his first completion here in the second quarter. Moss gets another gain of 3. More injuries. Every once in a while we get these games where it's just injuries just constantly. I don't know what happens. Marcel Reed, first completion of the game. Enough for the big first down on 3rd down. Then he'll throw the ball away again, setting up a 3rd and 6. Gets the completion again, though. Big 14 yards there. Then he'll throw it away again. 2nd and 10. Then they run it. 3rd and 5. Let's see, Marcel Reed. What do you got, buddy? Pass thrown away yet again. But did get him in field goal range. Again, did tie it up 3-3. But what I'm seeing so far from both of these quarterbacks, I don't love it. They're both thrown, especially Reed. He is throwing the ball away so much that I think they would really struggle against an Oregon or a Clemson if it comes down to it. But Avery Johnson, it does got the Wildcats back on the move here. 1st and goal at the 9, gets another 2 yards. 2nd and goal at the 7, less than a minute to go, and Avery Johnson finds Cephas. Touchdown, Wildcats 10-3. Let's see, Marcel Reed, 44 seconds, all 3 timeouts. Plenty of time to do something. This is a lot of times pass thrown away again. I was just going to say, this is a lot of times we see struggling offenses put together drives in these kind of situations. So they just start chucking the ball, getting it downfield, and we've seen a lot of touchdowns come in that situation, but not Marcel Reed and not Texas A&M. Reed might be the death knell in Texas A&M in this game. I think he is like a freshman though, right? Isn't he super young? So maybe that's why he's throwing the ball away so much, but he finds a 15-yard completion on that one. And Moss hasn't really been able... He's getting a lot of 3-4-yard gains, hasn't broken one out yet. But Reed on 3rd down has been huge for Texas A&M. It's been these early downs, he's throwing the ball away so much. Now he's just on fire. 1st and goal at the 8 for the Aggies. Give it to Moss, another 2-yard run. 2nd goal at the 5. Moss, a 0-yard run. 3rd and goal. Marcel Reed on 3rd down. Comes through yet again. Touchdown, Aggies. Now that was an impressive drive. We didn't see anything like that in the first half out of Texas A&M. We did see something like that, though. Giddens with another big 30-yard run. Yeah, if Reed can get drives like that, that's what I think Texas A&M can beat anybody in this bracket. But it's the consistency. Can they keep getting the drives like that from Reed? We haven't seen it yet. We'll see. Kansas State down to the 28, 3rd and 5, and they hand them. Texas A&M hands them the first down on a 3rd and 5. 15-yard back-breaking penalty. End of the 3rd, 3rd and 5, touchdown Wildcats. Johnson finds his receiver on 3rd down as we head into the 4th quarter. 5 minutes ago, Texas A&M finds themselves down by 7 in the big sack by Bull Palmer. 3rd and 18. Texas A&M is going to have to punt it back to the Wildcats here. And a huge return. That sets them up like in field goal range here. 1 first down, and Kansas State can make this a 2-score game pretty comfortably. 3rd and 1. What do they got here? Dylan Edwards rips one for 19 yards. Thrown away by Avery Johnson. It's been a while since we've seen those, so the quarterbacks seem to be settling in here a little bit. 3rd and goal at the 6. There's the legs, the speed, the running ability of Avery Johnson with 2 minutes and 19 seconds left. Puts Kansas State up by 14. Potentially putting this game out of reach. The Texas A&M Aggies. I would have picked them. I was rooting for Kansas State if, in my heart, if I was actually trying to fill out a real bracket, I would have 100% picked Texas A&M, potentially picked them to beat Oregon in the next round. They are not even going to get there. Giddens another 20-yard rush, and that is it. Texas A&M, SEC sent back, and number 8 seed Kansas State will move on to face Oregon in the round of 32. Next up, we got our 5-12 matchup. Another SEC team, South Carolina, will be taking on the Big 12's Texas Tech. So our 5-12 matchup actually has 85 overall South Carolina against 85 overall Texas Tech. Now, they show South Carolina as a 76 overall offense. We know their offense is better than that. It's kind of like Tennessee in their defense. They're like 78 overall or something. They play much, much better than that. We'll see if South Carolina is the same. Texas Tech, 85 overall offense, 82 defense. Tough matchup as the 5 seed here for South Carolina. Again, just in my blood, I got to root against the SEC, so I'll be rooting for Texas Tech in this one. And also, in case this is the first one of these you are watching, we do Super Sim on normal speed. If we get down to the 2-minute warning, and it's a 1-possession game, the team trailing has the ball, we'll typically go to slow mode. If it's a tie game and somebody's looking like they might score to win the game, we'll go to slow mode. But typically, we are just going to be sitting at normal speed here and watch these games go. So South Carolina, Nick Harbor, touchback to get us started. They will be starting with the ball. Obviously, Lenore Sellers, very, very good. Raheem Sanders, very, very good. And another reason I got to root for Texas Tech, not just the SEC thing, it's going against South Carolina in like that road to the CFP mode drives me insane. I hate going against South Carolina, so I would like to see them lose, but they got quite a drive going to start this one here with Sellers, left outside linebacker Smith out for Texas Tech. 3rd and 9 though for South Carolina. Backs them up. Big sack there. Anytime you can hold them to field goal, feels like a bit of a win. We'll see how Texas Tech offense is going to be able to operate against this highly rated South Carolina Gamecocks defense. So far, so good. Morton, a nice gain of 20 on the very first play, but then has to throw it away. Then he gets sacked. That's the defensive line is a big key in these, is what we have definitely been learning as these have gone along. We saw it from our winners in the Midwest for sure. Our winners in the East, their defensive line played great. Oh no, Tech. That was what, 3rd and 12? Is that a 3rd and 12 you gave them with a 15-yard penalty and another injury to Texas defense? 3rd and 3, stopped them though. Getting the ball back. All right, huge. Wow. Nothing stops me in my tracks like a good punt. A 64-yard punt in a dome. So there's no like wind helping them, no nothing. Unbelievable. We need to see Taj Brooks get going here for Texas Tech, I think, to have much of a chance here. Gave it to him 3 straight times. Try to get him going a little bit. Not quite able to. Looks like a fantastic punt, though. Down by Tech inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. But Sellers immediately gets South Carolina some breathing room with a nice little 13-yard gain there. A 26-yard gain already out to midfield. Sellers might be a problem here. He really might. 3rd and 8, though. So he hasn't really gotten his legs going yet, but just him throwing. Sellers might be a problem in this bracket, man. He really might. 2-score lead now for South Carolina. 10-0 lead. They play the winner of Clemson and Tulane. That's right. Okay, so this, just like the last game, these are the instances where we can see these struggling offenses get something going. But not for Texas Tech. Now South Carolina, with a big punt return, has a chance to extend this lead 44 seconds, or he throws an interception, another injury to Tech's defense. This Tech's defense is going to be all walk-ons at this point. How do you throw a pass for 2 yards here? Just setting them up for the 52-yard pass. Last play before halftime, Tech gets the touchdown bomb. Make it a 3-point game with Texas Tech getting the ball starting the 3rd quarter. What an unbelievable swing, and Brooks powers for that first down. And there goes Brooks. They have to get Brooks going. Get Brooks going. What an unbelievable swing right before halftime there. They get the interception on Sellers, and then talk about big swings. in field goal range to tie the game up, fumble it. South Carolina recovers, and they're marching right back down the field on you here. And then you hand them a free 5 yards. Smith, you should have stayed injured, buddy. 1st and 10 for South Carolina now at Tech's 35. Hold them to field goal. Just hold them to field goal. 3rd and 5 at the 30. Huge down here for the Gamecocks. Sellers tries to take it himself. It gets stuffed. Field goal up. Field goal good. 6-point game, though. Tech is 1 play away from taking the lead here. And, again, no spoilers. But in the East Regional, we saw a situation like this come up multiple times. A team down 6, running out of time. They just need the touchdown and an extra point to take the lead. And they came through, I think, every time. Every time. I'm pretty sure. So if Texas Tech can keep this at 6 and just stay alive, stay in it, get a 3 and out, get that ball back. Now we got 3:42, the ball at their own 45-yard line, only down by 6 points. Problem is their offense outside of right before halftime hasn't done much. Their first drive in this half, they actually got down to like the 10 before they fumbled it. So 3rd and 6 at the 41. Morton, gotta go for it. Gotta go for it, and they get it. Gotta go for it, and they get it. And then the touchdown to Caleb Douglas. Extra points good. Texas Tech somehow, some way, in the lead by 1 point in this 5-12 matchup in the first round. But South Carolina only down by 1, and their offense has been moving. 2nd and 10. 3rd and 8. Pretty much in field goal range there. 3rd and 8. The difference is who gets off the field on 3rd down. It was not Texas Tech. So we'll see how this drive ends up. Okay, so they're going to have to kick. 48-yarder, not guaranteed, but it is good. So now we will go to slow mode here for Texas A&M getting the ball. Or Texas Tech getting the ball. Down by 2. We missed a pass thrown away, so it is going to be 2nd and 10. Minute 13 left. Texas Tech with the ball, down by 2, trying to pull off the 12-5 upset here in the first round. They only need a field goal. Only need a field goal. Don't need to go that far for a high-powered offense like Texas Tech. Let's see if they can figure it out against the South Carolina defense. There's a quick jump coming at him from the left side. Finds his tight end right over the middle. 1st down, Red Raiders. What are you celebrating, buddy? That was right on your team's head. 1st down, Red Raiders at their own 38. Still got 25, 30 yards to go to feel okay. Look at that offensive line all day. Finds him right over the middle again. Right over the middle again. Slow down. Take your time here. You're in no rush. Absolutely no rush. 57 seconds left now at South Carolina's 45. Okay, maybe move a little bit here. There we go. They waited for 25 seconds on the clock. That is totally fine. Are they spiking? They are. Weird. Weird they waited for 25 seconds on the game clock to come out and spike, but whatever. 2nd and 10. South Carolina's 45-yard line. What are we waiting for now, boys? Wait for 25 seconds again. Okay. One more 1st down. The middle of the field looks pretty dang open here. No, they drop back to guard it. Morton looks right side. Risky ball there. Oh my goodness. They still have 1 timeout too, so they can go wherever they want on this field. Try to pick up this 1st down. Why are we waiting for 25 seconds on the play clock every time here, Texas Tech? What are we doing, boys? 3rd and 10. 1 1st down. And they have a shot at the field goal to win this game. What does Morton, what does the coach, what does Texas Tech have drawn up here? Just takes a little. He's got it. Went for the little drag route underneath. He beats South Carolina to the edge. That is a 1st down for Texas Tech. South Carolina now using their timeouts. It's got to be Taj Brooks. Nope, the passing. Oh, a screen pass. It is Brooks. Go, Brooks. Right middle of the field. Breaking tackles. Gain of 9. Why did Texas Tech take a timeout? Why would you take a timeout in that situation? Makes 0 sense to do that. Okay, 2nd and 1 though. Still in a good spot. Just shrugs off the tackle. Goes down. Okay, it's 3rd and 1. You're totally fine here, Texas Tech. Spike it. What are we doing? Texas Tech, hello? Boys? They're not going to get it off. What? What? What was that? Why did they wait? What is with the waiting to 25 seconds thing? I didn't do anything to change that. Is that just something Texas Tech does? They wait for 25 seconds on the game clock, they don't give themselves enough time to spike it, and they lose by 2. South Carolina moves on. Wow. Wow. You deserve to lose after that, Texas Tech. I'm sorry. You just do. You do. So now on to our 4-13 matchup. I still can't believe what just happened there. Anyway, 4-13, 4 seed Clemson at 90 overall, 13 seed Tulane at 85 overall. Clemson's my pick to get through the Final Four, so I got to root for them. But I love Tulane, so I shouldn't have picked Clemson just because I don't want to root against Tulane in this game. But we're here now. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I just think Clemson's defense, specifically their defensive line, is going to be a big difference maker for the team throughout this tournament. But I don't think their offense is going to be great. So it'll be interesting to see how it all works out. Luckily, Tulane in this world still has their quarterback. He didn't get paid, what was it, like $2 million or something to go to Duke after a good freshman season at Tulane. We'll see how that works out for Duke. But Tulane does get stopped there. The Clemson defense does shore up right around midfield, get the ball at their own 27. And Cade Klubnik, I think, he's going to be pretty good. I just don't... And not if he's going to run for 3 yards every single play. That's not going to get it. That's not going to get it done for Clemson. Yeah, he's coming back, right? I think Clemson's going to be really, really good next year. I was thinking, like real life, in the game, I think Clemson's going to be really good. And I think real life, I'm going to take him to get to like the semifinals. I think Clemson's going to be really good next season. I mean, we'll see. And Klubnik, though, really struggling here early. Whoa, Cade. Oh, okay. Oh, sure. He had 3 straight, like, 2-yard runs on their first drive. Opens their second drive by throwing it away 2 straight plays to 3rd and 10, and then just bang, 60-yard touchdown. Okay, okay. And the Tulane running back gets himself hurt on a 4-yard rush. You hate to see that. You never like to see injuries. I didn't change any sliders or anything, so it all, whatever the default is, I thought that was a fair way to do it. Like, I didn't want to turn injuries off or wear and tear off or anything like that. We're just letting the game play out how it is. We finally see Phil Maffa's name. I know when you play as Clemson, Maffa is a monster. He is so good. But these power backs in these sims don't seem to have that same firepower as when you're actually using the team. Seems like you kind of want faster, shiftier guys maybe. But the Clemson defense... Tulane sniffed midfield once. I don't think I don't think they crossed it on that first drive, and I don't think they've been close since. Is that TJ Moore both times for Clemson? So you have 2 60-yard touchdowns for the Clemson Tigers, gets them up 14-0. Well, now Tulane's on the other side of the 50, down to Clemson's 25 already. Back to what we said, now for the 3rd time. And once you get in this 2-minute drill, this is when you see a struggling offense sometimes actually put it together, where finally... It didn't work out the first 2 times, but this time, Tulane marches right down the field on Clemson in 30-40 seconds. Makes it a 1-score game here before half, if they can play defense for another minute. The only thing Clemson's got is those deep bombs to TJ Moore. Everything else is a pass thrown away or a short rush by Cade Klubnik. That's all they've been able to do. So just put 3 guys on TJ Moore, have 4 guys spying Cade Klubnik. There you go. Defense is set for you, Tulane. I got you guys covered. They even sneak out a field goal before half. I honestly didn't even think that was possible. I wasn't even really paying that close of attention because I didn't think they'd be able to do that. But they do. It is now a 4-point game, and Clemson's offense has not been impressive here so far. Okay, he's thrown to other people now in field goal range for Tulane for Clemson at Tulane's now 37-yard line after that penalty and another big play touchdown. So Clemson's now scored 3 touchdowns, 60, 59, and 37 yards. That was to somebody different. Unless, was that the guy that caught the first one? I don't know. I do know Clemson's 3 touchdowns are all deep passes. Hughes not injured anymore, comes back for a 51-yard rush. All of a sudden, Tulane's offense has come alive here. See, this is exactly what I've been saying in those other games. I'm finally getting proven right here. And sometimes these struggling offenses, they get that rush, that 2-minute drill right before halftime, and then just something clicks. They start actually moving the ball. So Tulane got 10 points in a minute and 30 seconds there in the second quarter, and now they just scored again, and the defense gets a stop. Tulane getting the ball back with 44 seconds left. I'm starting to get nervous for my Clemson pick. They might not make it out of the first round, which I wouldn't hate, because that means Tulane wins. So I wouldn't be too upset about that. But not looking great. Not a great drive there by Tulane. Giving the ball back to Clemson, because the Tigers' offense has not impressed me here at all. It's just those deep plays we got to watch out for. But the run game has not done anything. It's 3-4 yards at most, it seems like. It's just those 60-yard passes. And a ton of passes. There's no way Clemson... If this is the Clemson we're getting, they're not going to the Final Four. It'll be my first wrong one. So I got the first two right. I'm regretting Clemson. Even if they win this game, what I've seen from them in this game, I don't think they're going to make the Final Four. Like, I don't think... They're not going to beat Oregon. They might not beat South Carolina, if they even beat Tulane. They do have them on a 3rd and 10. Another pass thrown away. That's the defense, though. It's going to be that defense. If they can come through and make the big plays... We haven't really seen them make any big plays defensively in this game. They've just held mostly when they needed to and set up the offense to score their deep pass touchdowns. That if they can force some turnovers against South Carolina, then they could pull off that win. Oh, that's right. We're going to get Clemson, South Carolina in the second round. That's a fun second. If Clemson holds on, this game is not over. Field goal's up, field goal's good. It's an 8-point game. If Tulane gets past midfield, we'll go to slow mode because we need a... Oh, that's a good start. We need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion from the Green Wave to force overtime. So that got them right to the 50. Yep, okay, let's go slow mode. They're at the 22-yard line now. Touchdown and a 2-point conversion for Tulane to try to force overtime against the Clemson Tigers. See, why? Go! 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 Well, I don't know. They wait for 30 seconds. Hopefully it's not going to happen like what Texas Tech did. That was... God, that was crazy. All right, ncaa. Back to pass. He's got time. He's got time. What? They get a defensive pass interference on that. There's no... Oh. Who's that? Illegal touching? So he ran out of bounds and got back to that spot and was the first to touch it? Where did he go out of bounds? Oh, well, might be the last shot for Tulane. Nope, throws it away. Didn't like what he saw. Good effort. Good effort by that tight end there. Way to lay out for that. He knows what this game means. Tulane wants to advance in this tournament. They got one last shot to do it. 3 seconds left on the clock at Clemson's 22-yard line. Tulane needs the touchdown. They need the 2-point conversion. All on the line here for ncaa. Let's see. Make New Orleans proud. Laser beam. What a throw. ncaa, are you kidding me? That was a laser. Right to the right sideline. Keeps his feet in. Touchdown Tulane with no time left. And now it comes down to the 2-point conversion. Can Tulane convert the 2-point conversion to force overtime against the Clemson Tigers? In a shotgun set, 2 receivers to the right, tight end, receiver to the left. He's got him. He's got him. He's got him. Wow. Wow. Tulane. 3 seconds left, down by 8, forces overtime against the Clemson Tigers. Holy cow, our 4-13 matchup headed to overtime. And Tulane will be starting with the football. First possession of overtime, obviously at the 25-yard line. Big blitz coming from Clemson all day for ncaa. He's got to have somebody. Could have been a touchdown, could have been intercepted. That one could have gone either way. That's a risky ball. With that many blitzers, you thought maybe he'd find somebody open. Looked like Clemson sent maybe 6, and he had all day back there. Try to find somebody open. Not able to convert. 2nd and 10 now for the Tulane Green Wave in a pistol set. 2 tight ends to his right. Receivers out wide. Play action. Gobbled up. Peter Woods just ate Mensa for lunch, breakfast, and dinner. He is, gosh, Clemson mascot. Peter, wow. He did not bite on that play fake for a second. And just, just like that now. A 3rd and 20 from the 35. You get no yards here. It's a 52-yard field goal attempt. Don't love your chances of hitting that. It's a screen. It's a screen. Pressure. It took too long. Too long developing of a screen. The defensive line comes in, forces the throw into the dirt. Tulane is going to have to attempt a 52-yard field goal here in overtime to try to put even just a modicum of pressure on Clemson. This has to go in for Tulane. Absolutely need it. Let's see. Kicks up. Kick is good. Ooh, clutch. What a clutch field goal. Okay, so Tulane gets the 3-point lead. Clemson's offense hasn't been the best today. Let's see if they can put a little drive together. You would think this would be a lot of Phil Maffa. In a typical situation, there he goes on that one. Only a gain of 2, though. Tulane's done a very good job on their run defense. They have not given Clemson any room on the ground to run. They're making Klubnik beat him through the air, which he has done. That's how they got their 3 touchdowns. we're all deep touchdown passes. Maybe Clemson is too close to the end zone here for their offensive liking. Or maybe not. Remember, their touchdowns were 60, 59, and like 37. Start them at the 25. They can't get a deep touchdown. Instead, a guy will just be standing by himself wide open over the middle of the field. 1st and goal. Clemson Tigers. 6 yards between them in the round of 32. Between them and a date with the South Carolina Gamecocks. The heated South Carolina rivalry might live on here in the NCAA tournament. Klubnik finds the late slant on the left. Double coverage, it doesn't matter. Number 0 boxes them out. Clemson touchdown. Clemson, it will move on to face South Carolina in the round of 32. Now, we've had some upsets in the first round. Not a ton, but we've had so many close calls just like that. Tulane, Texas Tech, both right on the brink of pulling off the big upset. Not quite. Now we are on to our 6-11 matchup here in the first round. 6 seed Missouri at 88 overall. 11 seed Arkansas, 87 overall. The battle line rivalry, of course. Everybody knows that, obviously. Let's see who is going to move on between these two. It will be Missouri Tigers starting with the ball here. Obviously, expect a lot of Luther Burden in this game. The guy is a freak. Brady Cook is also very good. Really, Missouri's offense, very, very good. I haven't really used them a ton in this game, but from what I have used, ooh, man, they had a nice little pass play, then they decided to run the ball, backs them up, and a sack. Arkansas has absurd speed on their offense. That quarterback, Taylor Green, he is going to be a problem for years to come. We'll see if he is a problem for Missouri. So far, so good. 3 and out, first by the Tigers. Get that ball right back. There's Luther Burden. I'll tell you this right now. If Missouri can force Arkansas to punt, it doesn't even have to be a lot. Luther Burden is going to be a game changer as a punt returner. He's going to flip the field position. Missed a 51-yard field goal, Missouri did. Arkansas takes over. He's going to, those 20, 30-yard returns, I'm just throwing it out there. It's what I've seen in our dynasties before. If you have a good punt returner, that can be enough to win you a game. 100% by flipping the field position like that. But Arkansas has got a good drive cooking right now. Finds Tesla to the 19. 1st and goal now for Arkansas at the 7. Jackson only a gain of 2 down to the 5. Green takes it himself down to the 1. 3rd and goal from the 1. Jackson punches it in for the Razorbacks. Touchdown. Gets them on the board first here. I was expecting much more of an offensive game. Maybe it will still turn into that, but 6 minutes gone by, and neither offense has really been able to get a whole heck of a lot going. Even that drive by Arkansas, it ended in a touchdown, obviously. Great. It was really a struggle for him, it seemed like. A lot of short yardage, a lot of just dinking and dunking. But if it ends in a touchdown, it ends in a touchdown. That's all you gotta. That's all you really need. There's Luther Burden with his first catch of the day. Brings Missouri down to the 20-yard line of Arkansas. 3rd and 3 for the Tigers. Looking to answer back. Finds Luther Burden again. 1st and goal at the 7 now for the Tigers. Let's see. Brady Cook takes it himself. 2nd and goal at the 3. Finds Luther Burden again. Starts going to Luther Burden. Ends in a Missouri touchdown. It's, again, I'm going to reference another bracket. It's like when we were watching UNLV in the East. Get it to your playmakers. Get it to DeJesus in the UNLV's case. Holy cow. What is happening here, Arkansas? They got down that field quick. In Missouri, get it to Luther Burden. Get it to your guys. Let them make a play. Arkansas answers right back. No sweat touchdown there. That's more of what we were expecting to see between these two teams. Arkansas lets Green sling it. They get all the way down the field very quickly. Gets a 7-point lead here before halftime. 3rd and 4, 15 seconds left. Yeah, I was going to say, unless that was a giant chunk play, I think we were just heading to halftime, and that we are. Arkansas gets the ball to start the second half with the 7-point lead and an offense that's starting to cook up here. Starting to cook up. That guy, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Setagna? Stud. So good. We saw it on that drive before halftime. He caught a lot of big passes there. Then a 65-yard touchdown puts Arkansas up by 14. Pressure on the Missouri offense, and they go 3 and out again. They are just settling for running the ball over and over again, and Arkansas's not letting them. Go ahead, keep running it. We'll just keep stuffing you for 2 yards, get you a 3 and out. 3rd and 3 now for Arkansas. Pass dropped by Andrew Armstrong. Missouri now getting the ball back. Need to see some life from this offense. There's a punt return by Burden. See, just like that now, you're at Arkansas's 39. Because you have a good punt returner in there, you get to start this drive just about in field goal range. Then Arkansas will hand you a free 15 yards. Take advantage here, Missouri. You have to finish this drive. 3rd and 2 at the 6. Brady Cook gives him 1st goal at the 1, punch in the touchdown, or throw it, sure. Either way, touchdown's a touchdown. Back to a 7-point game. Luther Burden, I'm telling you, those punt returns are massive. It's not something you even really, at least I didn't really think about all that much until I saw it. I think it was our NIU dynasty a few years in. 3rd and 11, Arkansas, they get stuffed, getting the ball back to Missouri. Now, he might not have room to return one here. No, he doesn't. A few years into our NIU dynasty, we had a punt returner who was just electric. Kept getting 20, 30-yard returns, and just helped the team so much. You got to get one. I was going to say to Luther Burden, but Theo, that works too. 74-yard touchdown for the Missouri Tigers. Tie it up with less than 3 minutes to go. What a comeback by Missouri. 3rd and 5, and Arkansas goes 3 and out and has to punt it back. And it was a short enough punt. That's honestly probably a smart decision. I'm sure it wasn't actually a decision, it just worked out that way. 3rd and 7, ooh, they get stuffed on a 4th and 1. They do punt. It was 3rd and 7, they got the 7-yard gain, but the game decided that's not a first down, sorry. So if Arkansas gets to midfield, we'll go to slow mode, or if it goes to overtime, we'll go to slow mode. But Arkansas is going 3 and out again. Missouri getting the ball. Return by Burden. I told you. I feel like a genius. I feel like an absolute genius right now. I told you Luther Burden was going to swing this game with his punt returns. I didn't expect him to return one for the game-winning touchdown, but I told you Luther Burden. That's a first. That's a first. We have never seen a game-winning punt return touchdown until just now. Missouri moves on, knocks off Arkansas. Punt return touchdown. Sends Arkansas packing. Crazy. And again, no upset there in our 6-11 matchup, but when the games are like this, I don't even really care if they're big upsets or not. These games have been wild. Now we got another SEC matchup. The Ole Miss Rebels against the Vanderbilt Commodores. Ole Miss are 3 seed, 92 overall. It's 14 seed Vandy, 80 overall. I think this is the biggest mismatch we've had yet. A 12 overall discrepancy between the two. But it is Vandy. We got to root for Vandy in this one. But Ole Miss, I could easily see making the Final Four out of this too. But let's go Commodores. Let's see this SEC matchup, what these teams got. I think Ole Miss's offense is going to be really, really good. I would have to imagine. Obviously, they got that great tight end. They got Jackson Dart. They got a lot of good pieces. That doesn't help anything there either. You get them on a 3rd and 8 and you hand them 15 yards on first down, Vandy. Can't be doing that. You can't tell me that center, Reese McIntyre, they just showed there, he got hurt. Very unfortunate. Very sorry to hear that. That was the most Ole Miss looking center I've ever seen in my life. Go back and look at the picture of that center when it popped up and tell me he didn't look like a Confederate general. Reese McIntyre. Anyway. Vandy holds him to a field goal. Stowers is going to be a big piece of this too for Vandy. Obviously, Dio Pavea, Cedric Alexander, they've got good pieces on offense too. But, man, it's going to be tough for them. It's going to be tough. I'm hoping we see a Cinderella run from our boys in black and gold here. But Ole Miss might just be a little too much. It's crazy for me to be saying. I mean, it's only 3-0. They did hold Ole Miss to a field goal early, which is great. But Ole Miss has moved it fairly easy. That's pre-scoring. That's who it is. I think his wife or girlfriend, whatever they are, does all the TikToks of like bringing their kid to the games and stuff. Cutest thing in the world. Absolutely love it. Touchdown Ole Miss. 10-0 lead here on Vanderbilt. Let's see if Pavea's got any more magic left for the Commodores. They're going to need it. They are absolutely going to need it. Honestly, looking back, of course, easy to say now. I should have picked Ole Miss. Ole Miss should have been my Final Four team. If I could change it right now, I would. I can't. I'm locked on Clemson, but I think it's all. The bottom half of the bracket's so crazy though, because they're gonna play. Yeah, they got to play Missouri next. If they win this game, it's far from over. I'm not really paying attention for some reason. In my head, this one's over, and Ole Miss has won already, but it's far from the case. We've seen plenty bigger comebacks than this. This is hardly even a comeback. They're down 10 in the first half. And Vandy's getting the ball. And this is the time, like we saw with Tulane. Struggling offense. If they can get a drive here, might kickstart them a little bit, but they do have a 3rd and 7. Okay. Gotta go here, Vandy. Gotta go. If we can go get any points here before halftime, get some momentum for that offense, get some points on the board, make it a 1-score game, even if it's a field goal, all be massive for the Commodores. 45 seconds left. Still 2 timeouts, though. Ooh, but a 3rd and 10 now, just past midfield. Pavea on 3rd downs. He's coming up clutch for him here when they need him to. Goes for a 2-yard rush, then throws the ball away. 16 seconds, still 1 timeout. 2-yard rush. Take your last time out. What are these teams doing in this bracket? What are these teams doing in this regional? Why wouldn't you take that last time out? Take your last time out, kick your field goal. It's 10-3. They didn't even use their last time out. They just let time run on them. The time management in this regional has been abysmal. It's been terrible. But that drive might have been enough, even though they didn't get points. Now we're seeing the offense have their best drive of the game. Gets them the big 3rd and 7. They're down to Ole Miss's 16. Backs them up by 3, but Pavea's got this right now. Dang. Well, they'll settle for the field goal. It's up. It's good. It's a 7-point game. Can the defense do enough here to get the offense the ball back, give them a chance to tie it up here? I haven't seen a ton from Vandy's defense that we've liked. Like, haven't really seen any sacks, I don't think. Haven't seen Darts, I think, thrown the ball away 1 time. So it seems like they're not really getting too much pressure on them. They're just marching right down the field on them here. Okay, there's the pass thrown away. Unfortunately, in field goal range. Bump it back to a 10-point lead. Back to a 2-score game. 47 seconds left in the 3rd. What can Pavea and the Vanderbilt Commodores cook up here? That. That's what they can cook up here. Just a 72-yard touchdown. Sure. Yep. Made that look easy. Okay. So now Ole Miss, the ball back. 3-point game. 3rd and inches at the 40. The Ole Miss is smart. They actually ran the ball. A lot of times we've seen people in those 3rd and inches, 4th and inches sometimes too, go for a pass. You see the pass thrown away and they get stuffed. Oh, Vandy though gets the stop on 3rd and 8 and a short punt. Vandy's got it at their own 25, down by 3. 3 minutes to go. Thank you for running, Vandy. I was waiting to see what happened there. Thank you for running that ball. 2:40 to go. Nearing midfield. Another first down for Vanderbilt. 2nd and 10 at their own 48. Down by 3. Sacked for a loss of 3. 3rd and 13. Diego picked it up somehow. Somehow Diego Pavea picked that up. Okay. 3rd and 8 at the 25. 1st and 10 at the 17. I feel like we gotta go slow mode at this point. We gotta go. We gotta. So pass thrown away. It's 2nd and 10 at the 17-yard line. Vanderbilt down by 3 at minute 24 to go. Everybody with all their timeouts. Come on, Vandy. Don't tease us with another one. We've gotten teased with so many upsets. I would love to see this one. In the full house. Interesting. Pistol full house from Vanderbilt here. Just going with a run up the middle. Goes nowhere. 9 rushes for 9 yards for Cedric Alexander. Not sure about that play call. Just wasting time, I guess? I don't know. Are they playing for overtime? It's a risky move. Almost, Ole Miss should probably take a timeout there. Try to give their offense a chance. 3rd and 12 now. Diego Pavea dropping back to pass. That's... Sets up an easy... Oh, wait a second. Okay. Yeah, take a timeout, Ole Miss. No timeouts. Wow. So Vandy should run this all the way down then if Ole Miss isn't taking a timeout. Let that play clock go all the way down. You never know what you're going to see in these sims, though. Like that. Like what? Ole Miss let it run down to 10 seconds and then took a timeout instead of taking one at 50-something seconds? Whatever. Whatever. I want Vandy to win anyway, so that's fine by me. You just see some wild stuff in these, man. That's why these are fun. I like doing these. I'm hoping you guys are enjoying this as much as I'm enjoying making these. I think this has been super fun to watch and to like commentate over. And you just see the weirdest stuff. We've had some really fun upsets. Our Final Four has been a fun one so far. I'm excited to see the rest of it. See how it all plays out. And I mentioned in the last one, and I really do need to mention this at the beginning more because I don't know how many people stick around like through the actual games and not just jump around a whole bunch. That if you guys do enjoy this, I would like to do at the end, before College Football 26 comes out, like the last week or two, a whole 134 team tournament. Find out who really is the best team in College Football 25. I would love to do that. Maybe stream some of it or something. It'd be, but it depends on how much you guys like this, so you'll have to let me know. Heading to overtime in this SEC battle, Vanderbilt against Ole Miss, another overtime game. Just like we just had with Clemson, we've been seeing a ton of overtime in this dang thing. It'll be Vanderbilt starting with the ball at the 25-yard line. Ticket to the round of 32 on the line. Almost like a slow mesh play there. Finds his drag. Number 3 takes it down. 1st and goal at the 7. A nice gain of 18. That's how you start overtime there, Diego. Good job, buddy. We really haven't seen too many... I was going to say we haven't seen too many touchdowns in overtime. But that's not really true, is it? These games kind of blend together after a while, you know what I mean? Vanderbilt back in the pistol full house. Back to a run up the middle, and it's stuffed again. Let's get that one out of the play sheet. Let's cut that one out. No more of that. It's 10 rushes for 7 yards for Alexander. Because apparently they're just running like that. So I kind of understand why he's really struggling to run here. Okay, Vandy. Back in a shotgun set. That's nice. I like to see that. 1 receiver right, 2 left, halfback to his left, tight end on the right. Play action. Wide open. Finds him back line of the end zone. Almost looked like that safety was getting over there. He does not. Finds number 3 again. Touchdown, Vanderbilt. Extra point to make it a 7-point game. Pressure on the Ole Miss offense. Are we finally getting a big upset here? Or are we just getting teased again? Let's find out. Now, Ole Miss with the ball, needing a touchdown to keep overtime going, or else Vanderbilt is moving on. Quick throw, quick touchdown. Okay, well, at least make it a little dramatic, Ole Miss. Let's go to double overtime. So now it'll be Ole Miss with the ball here first in double overtime. Of course, in double overtime, if you score a touchdown, you do have to go for 2. Then if they do happen to go to triple overtime, it'll just be 2-point conversions back and forth. It looked like a weird screen Ole Miss was trying to set up there. But the Vandy D-line all over Jackson Dart. He has to run for his life and just chuck that sucker out of bounds. 2nd and 10 now for the Ole Miss Rebels, who also wait for 25 seconds on the play clock before they do anything. I swear not every team does that. I don't know if certain teams have like tempo they run at or something, but not every team waits till 25 seconds. I wish they'd stop. There's no way for me to make them go any faster, so we just sit here for 10 seconds and we'll see what happens. 5 seconds to go. 3rd and 5 for Ole Miss. Found a nice little check down underneath route there. Got him a good chunk. Let's see if Jackson Dart can come through. Oh, a little audible, a little flip. Yep, little flip. So now 2 receivers left, 1 right, tight end. Oh, it was a little wide receiver screen, but Vandy all over it. They come crashing down. 4th and 2 for Ole Miss. Gotta imagine they are just going to take their 3 here and play it safe. But I don't know. I don't hate going for it in this instance. They are going to go for their kick, try to take their 3-point lead, put the pressure on Vanderbilt. Let's see. So Ole Miss field goal attempt here, take the 3-point lead in double overtime. Kick is up. Kick is good. So now Vandy field goal for triple overtime and alternating 2-point attempts. Touchdown for the win for 14 seeded Vanderbilt. The 80 overall Vanderbilt Commodores against the 92 overall Ole Miss Rebels. Going with a run up the middle. I mean, they just doubled his yardage total for the game, so so you like that if you're Vandy. 2nd and 4. They also wait for 25 seconds on the play clock. Very annoying. Very much wish you would stop doing that. Pavea back in a shotgun set. Going Alexander again. Yep. They're playing so passively here. Back-to-back runs up the middle. It has got him 8 yards. It's got him in a 3rd and 2, similar to where Ole Miss just was. Ole Miss went with wide receiver screen. Didn't work out for them. Let's see what Vanderbilt's got drawn up here for their 3rd and 2. Said touchdown moves them on to the round of 32. 14 seeded Vanderbilt. They're under center in a single back set to pass and got nowhere to go. What are we doing here? What are we doing here, Vandy? What was that, boys? So now a 41-yard field goal to send this to triple overtime and 2-point conversions from both sides. But first, we got to make this kick. I mean, dead middle, 40 yards. You should make this. But the way this tourney has gone, we've gotten teased by these upsets so many times, it wouldn't shock me if this does not go in somehow. Wouldn't shock me. I'm hoping it does. Pulling for you, Vandy. Kicks up, kicks good. That was our first ever double overtime, I think. It's definitely our first ever triple overtime. It'll be Vandy with the ball first. The 3-yard line. 2-point conversion. Let's see what they're going to go with. A trips on the left, solo receiver on the right. Halfback back in the block. Only 3 rushing after him. Just run, Diego. Run! Thank you. Thank you, Diego. That was the easiest 2-point conversion I have ever seen. Pavea just steps up, takes it himself. 2 points, good for Vandy. Now it is on Ole Miss. They are in like a wide slot left, it looks like. 2 receivers left. Tight end back there blocking. Goes for the slant route. He held on to that. I thought that was dropped. I thought Vandy knocked that out and was moving on. 4th overtime. Ole Miss will be up first here, going for 2. Gosh, I really thought Vandy had that. Okay. A spread set here for Ole Miss. Going for the run up the middle. Stuffed by Vandy. Ole Miss tries to catch him off guard with just a little run right up the gut. Vandy was ready for it, though. Now Vandy The Commodores 3 yards away. An empty set for Pavea. Looks like Ole Miss potentially bringing pressure here. Pavea up the middle. Pavea in the Vanderbilt Commodores. The QB draw for the 2-point conversion is good. 14-seeded Vandy knocks off the 3-seed Ole Miss and will move on to the round of 32. Electric stuff. It'll be Missouri against Vanderbilt in the next round. What an upset in the first round there. So we've had upsets before where like the lower seed beats the higher seed, but in the game their overalls, sometimes the lower seed is better overall. That was 92 overall Ole Miss against an 80 overall Vanderbilt. 3 seed versus 14 seed. The 14 seeded Vanderbilt Commodores moving on. Now in our 7-10 matchup. Wow. Anyway, yes, 7-10 matchup. Number 7, LSU. Also a 92 overall. Going against the 10 seeded Iowa Hawkeyes. 88 overall. Offensive versus defensive matchup. 92 overall offense for LSU, 92 overall defense for Iowa. We'll see how those two match up. Caleb Johnson for Iowa could be tough for LSU to deal with. Let's find out. It's going to be hard to beat that last one. It's going to be tough. Now, obviously, I will be pulling for the Big Ten here in this matchup. Glad I didn't pick Ole Miss to go to the Final Four. Forget what I said in the beginning of that last game. I'm happy. At least my Clemson pick got out of the first round. I'm not expecting them to do much more than that, but still. Okay, LSU with the ball. Their offense is very good. A lot of very good wide receivers. Nussmeier, very good. Or is he? Iowa makes him throw it away. Where... Did they block that punt? Or LSU's punter fumbled it? Something happened there. Iowa's got the ball first and goal at LSU's 9. Caleb Johnson in for the early Hawkeye touchdown. What a start to this game for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Forced the punt, then either blocked it or the punter fumbled. Whatever happened there, Iowa recovers and punches it in for the touchdown, and they make Nussmeier throw it away again. This is Iowa defense. And then a net 7-yard punt. Iowa's got it back at LSU's 36. They're already in field goal range to try to make this a 2-score game. Feeding through Caleb Johnson down to the 30-yard line. And Luke Leachy. First down Hawkeyes. Luke Leachy. First down Hawkeyes. First and goal at the 9. Luke Leachy. Touchdown Hawkeyes. Oh, he was down at the 1. Cade McNamara. Touchdown Hawkeyes. 30 seconds left in the first quarter. It is 14-0 Iowa. Defense might have the edge in this one. We'll see if Nussmeier and this LSU offense can get something going here. Lacey's been the only positive yardage LSU has gotten here so far. 3rd and 9, he throws it away again. I'm honestly shocked by what's happening here so far. I think that's every 3rd down. Nussmeier's had to throw it away because Iowa's pressure getting in there. Now McNamara throws one away, throws another one away. 3 straight incompletions. That's not Iowa's game. They shouldn't be throwing the ball 3 straight times, so that's kind of what you get there. That's kind of your own fault on that one, Iowa. Now Nussmeier has to throw it away again, a 3rd and 7. Finally, they pick up a first down. Just goes to Lacey. All else fails, just go to Lacey. LSU on the board. Nussmeier to Durham for the Tiger touchdown. Gets it back to a 1-score game. Really, LSU needed that badly. Momentum-wise, everything. Just to show their offense can do anything against this Iowa defense is huge. 3rd and 9, you give it up to Cade McNamara. You hate to see that. Caleb Johnson. It's the Caleb Johnson show. Caleb Johnson and Luke Leachy. It's all Iowa needs, apparently. And that guy, Reese Vanderzee, gets him down to the 12-yard line. Pass thrown away. 2nd and 10 from the 12 for Iowa. Caleb Johnson down to the 1. Let Caleb get a touchdown in there. Let Caleb get a touchdown in there. What an impressive half here by the Iowa Hawkeyes. I am stunned by what we're seeing from them here. On both sides of the ball. The defense has played phenomenal. LSU's only touchdown came when they started at the 35. And their offense has just been moving. Hayden Large, That's your fullback's name? That's incredible. I'm all in on Iowa after seeing that. I was already rooting for Iowa. Then I see you get the ball to your fullback, and his name is Hayden Large? Yeah, buddy. Let's go Hawkeyes. But they do get stopped and have to punt it back. And we know LSU's offense can score very, very quickly. A 14-point lead, not super safe with this much time left against a team like LSU. Unless they're going to run the ball 3 straight times. What are you doing, LSU? They try to run it 3 straight times on the Iowa defense, get stuffed, and have to punt it back to the Hawkeyes. LSU's pass rush gets in there, forces the 3rd and 15 for Iowa. Well, there must have been a positive play in Luke Leachy, first out. There must have been a positive play in there on top of the 5-yard penalty because they got to the other side of the 50. Turnover for the Tigers. Is that the momentum shift LSU needed to get back into this game? Time is running out in the 3rd quarter. They're still down by 14 points. But that fumble might have been the spark that this Tigers team needed to get back into this game. We will see. 2nd and 6, pass knocked away by Jay Higgins. 3rd and 6 for LSU, picks it up. Aaron Anderson, first catch of the day, is a big one, but then Aaron Graves gets after Nussmeier. 2nd and 18, but then right back to Aaron Anderson. His 2nd catch of the day is even bigger than his first catch of the day. Touchdown Tigers, 7-point game, 4 minutes and 4 seconds left. Iowa football. Let's see if they are just going to rely on Caleb Johnson and Luke Leachy. It was their formula to success. Then McNamara throws a pick. LSU scores on the first play. Wow. From 21-7, Iowa fully in control of this game, to now 21-21. All momentum back on LSU's side of things. Never mind. Momentum back on Iowa's side of things. Caleb Johnson. I've said before, all the big plays happen at the quarters or the 2-minute warning, so you just don't see what happens. All of a sudden, they're kicking an extra point. 59-yard touchdown run by Caleb Johnson to give Iowa the 7-point lead back over the LSU Tigers. If LSU starts threatening, we will go to slow mode per usual. Minute 40 to go. Still okay. CJ Daniels, that gets him past midfield. Minute 30 to go. Mason Taylor to the 32. Nussmeier. Okay, well, I think they're just gonna score. I don't know if we need to go to slow mode right now. 2nd goal at the 3. 3rd and goal at the 6. 37 seconds left. Now we can go slow mode. It looked like they were just gonna score right away, so I figured we don't even need to. Now we will. Take a timeout, Iowa. Well, I was happy to... Are we going to get another overtime game? This is going to be our 3rd overtime game of the first round. Right? Because we had Clemson Tulane. We just had that triple overtime with Vandy. He's got 12. Doesn't see him. Tries to go back the end zone. Nick Jackson, the young buck himself. Those who know. Shout out AEW. The interception with 4 seconds left. Iowa. The Iowa Hawkeyes, the Big Ten, takes down the SEC. Iowa moving on to the round of 32. Will play the winner of Georgia and Cincinnati. Back to back. I guess you just don't want to be a 92 overall team in this. I think that's what we're learning. That Ole Miss and LSU both fall. Crazy. Now, if this bracket really wanted to get wild, we'd see Cincinnati pull this one off. But 2-seed Georgia, 96 overall, 92 offense, 96 defense. Highest overall team in the game against 15-seeded Cincinnati Bearcats, 84 overall. I mean, we have just seen a couple pretty good upsets. This would definitely blow them all out of the water. Anything can happen on these sims, though. Like, nothing would really shock me. This would be as close as you could get. If Cincinnati can pull this off against Georgia. I mean, realistically, Georgia's probably going to make the Final Four. Jeez. This is looking awful easy for them so far. But, I mean, there's some tough matchups coming up, man. Iowa, if they get by Cincinnati, which they probably will. Iowa in the next round could be good. But then they'll have Missouri or Vandy. You gotta like Georgia in those. And out of the top, who would give them the best game? Oregon? I don't know, man. I just don't want it to be Georgia, is the thing. Because so far, in these brackets, it has not been the highest rated teams that has gone through. Again, whatever. If you're watching this point, you probably watched the other ones already, but we haven't had a 1 or a 2 seed make the Final Four yet. Who's the highest overall we have in there? I think I don't know. But you have already gone through 295 overall teams. And they had to play each other before the Final Four. And then the other one lost. And they'll beat 8. So it's not like just the highest overall teams are winning every game. As we've seen from the past 2 games. It's not just about... It's almost the same. Right, what was Cincinnati? 84, and Georgia's a 96. Ole Miss was a 92. Vandy was an 80. And that was a 12 overall difference, and Vandy pulled that one off. Not expecting. This has not been going the same as Ole Miss Vandy was, though. This is very, very easy for Georgia so far, and Cincinnati has just been able to do a whole heck of a lot of nothing. Last matchup of the first round, said winner is going to go on to face Iowa. Well, Iowa definitely impressed me in that last game. I think they'll be able to give Georgia a game at least, because Iowa's got such a good defense. But Caleb Johnson's going to struggle, you would have to imagine. I don't think they'll be able to run the ball super well against Georgia. But maybe. Maybe. I'm hoping so. I'm definitely pulling for Iowa next round. Sorry, Georgia fans. I don't want you guys to lose. That is what it is. It's just a fact. Pretty much always going to be rooting against it. So, who do we have left? I see, just looking the rest of this bracket. Well, we'll look at it after the game. I'll pull it up after the game. We'll see how we're looking in the round of 32. Oh, Cincinnati got to stop, though. 24 seconds and 2 timeouts. Can we get something going here before half? Potentially, Cincinnati. Show some sign of life in this game. Nope. They sure can't. Okay, well, Cincinnati ball to start the second half. Said their offense has just been nothing. Why are you running with your tight end? And a 1-yard rush for your quarterback. Xavier? It had an X and a Z, so it wasn't like Xavier. Xavier would be my guess. Gotta go for it. Okay, okay. We've seen 17-point comebacks before. In the Midwest region, there was a 17-0 comeback in the first round there. But it wasn't... The overalls were slightly different in that game. Yeah, just take your 3 at that point. Get on the board. Down by 14. If we can get Carson Beck to throw a pick, if we can get a fumble, something to really swing momentum Cincinnati's way, make it a 1-score game, anything can happen at that point. 3rd and 2, they should just run here. They do, but they get stuffed. Well, 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 Cincinnati. Well, 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 boys. If we can rip off a touchdown drive here somehow, make it a 1-score game in the 4th quarter. And seeing Cincinnati, they've actually been able to run the ball okay. That gives me some hope for next round. If Georgia survives, Georgia's not out of the woods yet. 1st and goal at the 2 for Cincinnati. They're in for a... Hold up. Hold the phone. We got ourselves a 7-point game in the 4th quarter. Now pressure's on Georgia. The pressure is on the Bulldogs. 3rd down. Stopped them. Oh my gosh, Cincinnati, please. Please, Cincinnati. Please, Cincinnati. Not a great start. Not a great start for our game time drive we got here. Not a good follow-up to this start. Not a great 3rd down either. And they do punt it away. Yeah, because if you go for it and don't get it, the game's over. You're handing Georgia a field goal in that situation. The Cincinnati defense this second half has been unbelievable. Got 2 minutes. Got to go for it now. 4th and 9. They got it on 4th and 9 to get to the 48. Then there was a 15-yard penalty against Georgia. So we're at like the 37. Cincinnati ball. 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Down by 7. See, again, what is with the waiting? They wait till 30 seconds. Came back and bit Texas Tech. Hopefully it's not going to bite Cincinnati. Sorsby, you got all day, buddy. Going deep. Ballsy throw by Sorsby there. A minute and 4. Oh, now they're waiting for 25 seconds. Oh my gosh, why is every team doing this? Okay, Cincinnati. He's got all 3 timeouts. Minute and 4 seconds. Ball at Georgia's 37-yard line. Just take your check down. 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 Okay. Pass thrown away. 3rd and 10. Cincinnati. We'll wait for 25 seconds. Now Cincinnati lining up. What do we got here? 3 receivers left, 1 right, halfback, all going out on routes. You have your halfback. You have that other check down. Okay. 4th and 3. Game on the line for the Bearcats. You'd think you'd show a little urgency at this point, but we'll wait. There we go. They wait for 25 seconds, then they go, like, hurry up. I don't understand what's happening here. But anyway, 30 seconds to go. 4th and 3. Cincinnati, game on the line. Sorsby's got all day. Steps back, fires. He's got him. He's got him. Come on, Cincinnati. Come on, Bearcats. 1st and goal at the 10. Down by 7. I so badly want them to score and go for 2. I know they won't. I know they wouldn't go for 2. But let me dream. Let me dream for now. Cincinnati coming out 5 wide. Trying to stretch Georgia's defense out thin here. Sorsby. I mean, this Cincinnati offensive line is phenomenal. He has had all day, every play that we've been watching here. He's just been able to dance around back in that pocket. No problem. Now 17 seconds, 2nd and goal from the 10. I can't believe we're even in this situation. I thought Georgia was going to cakewalk over him, but Cincinnati came fighting back. Only a 3-man rush. All day again for Sorsby. Takes his check down. Oh, gets clobbered. But down to the 1-yard line. Cincinnati, 3rd and goal from the 1. 11 seconds left. 1 yard to force overtime. How do you get 1 yard against the Georgia defense? Like that. Just like that. Cincinnati. We're going back to overtime. Are we really going back to overtime? I feel like we've had so many overtimes. Oh my goodness, Cincinnati. If they pull this upset off, oh my goodness, I don't know. It'd be 3 in a row, pretty big upsets. I guess Iowa over LSU. They're going for it. They're going for 2. I love it, Cincinnati. I absolutely love it. They're going for 2. It's a jet. I hate the play call. I love that they went for it. Absolutely love that they went for it. A jet against Georgia? If there's one thing Georgia knows, it's speed. Typically, it's, behind the steering wheel. Well, hold on now. Hold on now. Now we got 7 seconds. That's enough time to run a play. We don't just have to chuck one deep here, Sorsby. No, okay, now you do. Okay. Well, now you certainly do. One more shot for Cincinnati. I mean, there's no way he's arm strength to get one all the way down the field here, but you know. Just got chuck one, hits as he throws, just flutters, incomplete. Cincinnati teases us with the comeback attempt, goes for 2 to win the game. Loved to see that. Hated the play call. Then they get the onside kick, and for the first time seemingly all day, Georgia gets pressure on the quarterback. Georgia survives. Georgia advances. They will face Iowa in the round of 32. And with that, our round of 32 here in the West region has been set. Oregon against Kansas State, South Carolina against Clemson, classic matchup there. Got some big upsets down in the bottom half here with Missouri going against Vanderbilt, who knocked off number 3 Ole Miss. Iowa takes down LSU. They will meet up with Georgia. Gosh, I wish Cincinnati won that. I really wish Cincinnati won that game. So at this point, let's just get into Oregon against Kansas State. Start finding out who is going to be in our Sweet 16. Number 1 seed, Oregon Ducks at 95 overall, 87 overall, Kansas State. We've seen upsets with bigger discrepancies than that one. We will see. I mean, no team really stood out in that first round. We saw in other regions, certain teams just really looked good almost throughout the whole thing. It was no big surprise that they ended up in the Final Four or the Elite Eight. At this point, it's still such a big toss-up to me. Yeah, none of these teams looked all that good in the first round. So I feel like it could be any of the teams we have left here. Easily could make it to the Final Four. Well, we'll start narrowing it down right here. So Oregon going to be starting with the ball. I gotta think Oregon's gonna pull this one off, but I certainly thought Ole Miss was gonna pull that off. I thought Georgia was gonna stop Cincinnati, and that came down to a 2-point conversion. So these sims have just been going kind of wild here, which is great for a format like this. We love to see that. Kansas State gets a stop on Oregon. Not a very easy thing to do. And Giddens is seems like the big thing for Kansas State. If Giddens can get it going, the Wildcats offense goes with him. We saw in that first round against Texas A&M, I'm pretty sure they played. He had multiple 20, 30-yard plays here. He's catching the ball for 20 yards. Kansas State down to Oregon's 15-yard line here. Giddens backs up 3, gets him the 3 back, gets him a 3rd and 10 from the 12. An 11-yard completion by Avery Johnson. First of all, the 2. Johnson will take it in himself. The Kansas State Wildcats get the stop on defense and march down and score on their first drive. 7-0 Kansas State. This would be a surprise. There's a lot of game left. A ton of game left. Oregon could win this game by 30. But if you're Kansas State, if you're rooting for the Wildcats here, you're feeling pretty good about how this started. Into the second quarter. Still a 7-point lead. Oregon is in field goal range, I would imagine. 3rd and 8 at Kansas State's 34-yard line. Those third downs. Kansas State, you got to get off the field on those third downs. Here's another chance. You got to get off the field here, Kansas State. Good job. Good job. Holding them to 3 there is massive. I thought there was a chance they were going to go for it. I thought I might have spoken a little too soon there. Oregon does take their field goal. Keeps a 4-point lead for Kansas State. Let's see if they can match what they did on their first drive, which was really Avery Johnson throwing the ball, which was surprising to me. Now he just did it with his legs. 3 carries, picks up the first down, and there he goes. It's really been Giddens catching the ball. It's just been Johnson throwing the ball. And it's that Oregon defensive line. If they can start getting pressure, Avery Johnson is fast enough. He might be able to get out and make some good runs happen. But if that Oregon defensive line can start getting good pressure on him, that could swing this game pretty quick. So now Oregon's offense has 90 seconds. That's more than enough time. I feel like they're going to score here before half. I feel like it's going to be a tie game at halftime. But a 3rd and 7, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe Kansas State adds to their lead before halftime. How about that? How you like them apples? Well, Avery. Pass knocked away. Okay, pass knocked away. At least they used enough time. I don't think Oregon's be able to do anything here before half. Looks like Kansas State is going to keep a 7-point lead. Yes, Kansas State keeps a 7-point lead and gets the ball to start the second half here. This feels like an awful big drive for the Wildcats. If they can build something here, get up to a 2-score lead, you know Oregon's going to eventually score points. You can't rely on holding them to 3 every half. So you got to keep building here if you're Kansas State. 10 is not going to be enough to win. Avery Johnson comes through down to Oregon's 11-yard line. 3rd and 7 at the 11. Dude, Avery Johnson. Avery Johnson is playing the game of his life right now against the Oregon Ducks. Giddens punches it in for the touchdown. 1 seed Oregon is on the ropes here. 2 minutes left in the third quarter, down by 14. 2-score lead for the Kansas State Wildcats. Gabriel's got to they've got to get this offense cooking. They have not been able to move the ball here as of yet. Now a 3rd and 2 for Oregon. They do pick up I just dropped my water cap. They do pick up that first down. Now another 3rd and 3. Oregon's in position where they are going for this, right? 4th and 1. They sure do. They sure do go for it and get the touchdown. Makes it back to a 7-point game. Now Kansas State, you have to keep your foot on the pedal here. You cannot give Oregon room to breathe. Got to go get points on this drive. Keep it a 2-score game. So, oh, that's huge. So that moves them to Oregon's 42. Then back to Oregon's 47. But even if you can just get a field goal on this drive and kill some time and keep it a 2-score lead. This big 3rd down. 55-yard field goal to make it a 2-score game. He missed. Yep. Now Oregon gets it at their own 38, just like that, on Kansas State's 40. A 2nd and 10 for Dylan Gabriel. 2 minutes 43 seconds left. 3rd and 10. 4th and 9. I think they got to go for it here. Pass knocked away. It's incomplete. 1 seed Oregon fully on the ropes here. 2:49 to go. They are getting the ball back here. 1 more shot for Dylan Gabriel and the Ducks. A good punt return sets them up at their own 41. A pass dropped by Holden. 2nd and 10 for Oregon. 1st down. 1st and 10 at Kansas State's 46. A minute 16 to go. Cornerback for Kansas State gets injured. The 35-yard line. We will go to slow mode. Yeah, minute left. Big 1st down. So Oregon is at Kansas State's 12-yard line, down by 7, minute to go. They are also letting that play clock drip away. Not sure why every team seems to be doing this. It's really unfortunate for me, because I just end up, oh wow, they ran that all the way down. Okay, Oregon. They're running the whole clock out. They got confidence. They got confidence in Dylan Gabriel for a reason. Fair enough, Oregon. 1st and goal now at the 2-yard line. 16 seconds left to go. Find out who is going to the Sweet 16. I do love these end zones at this Las Vegas stadium. Gabriel looked like a 5-wide set there. Only rushing 3 all day. Throws it out the back of the end zone. 2nd and goal now at the 2. And they still have a timeout, so Oregon could still run the ball. They come out a similar set and do what we saw Vandy do in the 1st round. Just run like a QB draw or something like that. Oregon's got options. And a wild playbook to try a bunch of different stuff. Only 3 down linemen. I'm surprised they didn't try to run it. You don't need to. You don't need to. A little out route to the left sideline. Touchdown Ducks. Now, do they go for 2? They shouldn't. Usually I think the worst team, like Cincinnati going for 2, made sense. You don't love your chances against a team like Georgia in overtime. If you're Oregon, are they challenging this? I mean, what? What's happening? If you're Oregon, you go for 1, you take your chances in overtime, in my opinion. But I also don't know what's happening here. It says 2nd and goal at the 0. They are going for 2 in like a super crazy heavy set. It's a QB run. It's an option. Can he get to the corner? Stopped! They stopped him! Kansas State! Oregon goes for 2. They go for like the speed option out of a jumbo shotgun set. Gabriel pitches it. He's brought down at the 1-inch line. Oregon has been eliminated. Kansas State has knocked off the Oregon Ducks in round 2. 8-seeded Kansas State is headed to the Sweet 16. I'm in shock. These last few games have been unreal. Georgia, Cincinnati, LSU, Iowa, Ole Miss, Vandy, even Missouri, Arkansas. Was that a good one? I don't even remember. Now, Oregon, Kansas State. We have been on an unbelievable run of games here. Oregon's getting crossed off. Kansas State moving on. We'll play the winner of South Carolina, Clemson. Wow. Wow. And now we got the Palmetto Bowl, 4-seed Clemson, 5-seed South Carolina. Clemson with the overall advantage at 90-85, but clearly that means nothing. Clearly that just means a whole lot of nothing. Let's see, Clemson, my pick to come out, my pick for the Final Four. It didn't impress in the first game. We know South Carolina is going to be tough. This whole region is very tough to predict. Oops, I forgot to set it to Las Vegas. I will back out. We'll pick this back up in Las Vegas. There we go. Now we're in Vegas for this rivalry showdown. I mean, this battle of defensive lines here, right? Both very good defensive lines. What quarterbacks can be able to handle the pressure better? Is either team can be able to run the ball very much? I think that's going to kind of decide who's going to avoid the mistakes. Any big turnovers. A quick 3 and out forced by Clemson. South Carolina has to punt. It looked like a really good punt. Yeah, down to Clemson 7. So Maffa, we didn't see him get the ball very much in the first game. That we saw a lot, though. Klubnik throwing the ball away could be a big deciding factor in this game. To be fair, we did see Sellers throw the ball away as well. Except both defensive lines are very, very good. They're going to get pressure on the quarterback. There's a mistake. There's the first mistake. Interception by Cade Klubnik. South Carolina takes over at Clemson's 37. Are they be able to really take advantage of it? They cannot. 4th and 5. They will have to settle for a field goal. But still, in a game that's probably going to be very defensive, a defensive battle. Get that turnover, get a free 3 points off of it. Then Kennard gets in there for the sack. So these defensive lines are going to be nasty. They're going to be at each other's throats here. Klubnik's got to keep his composure. He's got to move in a little bit now. We're on the positive side of the 50 on a 2nd and 9. Finds TJ Moore for 6 yards. 3rd and 3. Tries to do it himself. Comes up short. I almost feel like you go for it here. They don't. They punt, and it is a touchback. South Carolina, this is their opportunity to jump all over Clemson here if they can get a drive going. First down. We'll take it. I think is that their first down? I think South Carolina's pretty settled in just running the ball here. It looks like 5 straight rushes. Puts him on a 3rd and 8. Then Sellers has to pass, and he does. Picks up the big first down. Now Sellers passing again. Now he's feeling it. Now he's feeling confident. Now he's slinging that rock around. Another gain of 7. Another gain. So they started with 5 straight runs. Now we've gone to 5 straight passes. Marched him right down the field for a touchdown. What a drive by Sellers. Color me impressed. Now Clemson can Klubnik, and I mean, they've been moving the ball a little bit, and then they just kind of set themselves back here. Again, they're at midfield, they're moving it, but then they get stopped. South Carolina shuts the gates like an old-timey castle. They're pulling up the drawbridge right around. They get to midfield. Say, nope, that's as far as you're going. You are not getting into our territory here. Versus, there's Peter Woods. He had that monster sack in that overtime against Tulane. He swallowed that guy up. But, I mean, Sellers has been playing much... And there's Peter Woods again. Sellers has definitely been playing better than Klubnik, and that's been the difference. Clemson shut out in the first half. Their offense will get the ball to start the second half here. Klubnik's been taking his little checkdowns, getting 10 yards every once in a while. But what they really were able to do against Tulane, that seems like South Carolina's been taking away, is those big plays. Right? That's how Clemson scored every time in that game against Tulane. 60 yards, like 59 yards, 40 yards, something like that was their 3 touchdowns. They have not even sniffed anything close to that against South Carolina here so far. 3rd and 7, and Sanders picks it up on the ground and some. Sanders just taken over here in the second half, and then Sellers another 13 yards down to Clemson's 10-yard line already. South Carolina Attaway in for the touchdown. Extra point blocked, so it is still a 2-score game. That could be big down the line here, but it won't matter unless Clemson's offense can find just anything to grab onto. 3rd and 5, another just gain of 8. They're just thinking and dunking, and just they don't have time to slowly work their way down the field like they're trying to do here. Klubnik -3. There it is. There it is. And went for 2 and didn't get it because that happened at the end of the quarter, so we didn't get to see that. And Clemson still has 6, so obviously they went for 2. were unsuccessful. But there's that big play Clemson feasted on against Tulane. Their first taste of it against South Carolina. It might be a little too late, especially if they can't stop this rushing attack. South Carolina is just running all over Clemson. I am very surprised to see that happening here in the second half. So a 13-point lead now for South Carolina, 2.5 minutes to go. Unless Clemson's got another 60-yard touchdown in them. I mean, 3 yards, 0 yards, 3 yards. And South Carolina did a fantastic job here. It seems like they just backed up, keep everything in front of you. They knew that was Clemson's strength. They knew that's how they beat Tulane. They weren't going to fall victim to the same whatever. They weren't going to lose like Tulane did. They were going to keep everything in front of them. You can take your 5-yard passes. You can take your short runs. Second interception for that safety. South Carolina is kneeing it out. I was wrong on Clemson. I did say after watching their first game, I didn't like my pick. South Carolina knocks off the Clemson Tigers. They will go on to face Kansas State in the Sweet 16. Next is a 6 versus 14 matchup, SEC battle. Missouri taking on Vanderbilt. 6-seeded Missouri, 88 overall. 14-seed Vandy, 80 overall. Vandy already beat a 92 overall Ole Miss squad. Who's to say they can't do the same to the Missouri Tigers and punch their ticket to the Sweet 16? Let's go find out. It'll be interesting. I mean, Missouri and Ole Miss, on the surface, they seem like fairly similar teams. You know, a lot of speed, good quarterbacks, solid, not spectacular defenses. So we'll see if Vanderbilt is able to recreate some of that magic they had. It didn't look like it at the beginning. They had a quick 3rd and 10 there, but then 3 straight plays by Pavea marched them into Missouri territory. Now back to a 3rd and 10. Pass knocked away. It's too long, right? Are they going to try it? Well, these teams in their field goals, they have so much faith in their kickers, and they are getting let down time and time again. Vandy tries a 58-yard field goal, comes up short. Missouri gets stuffed, though, and has to punt it back. They get to midfield, get to the 50, get stopped, punts it back. Vanderbilt's got it at their own 4-yard line. See if their offense... They had a good drive going there, and then just kind of fizzled out at the end. They are going to go 3 and out instead. 3 straight rushes. Pavea tries to get it by himself on that 3rd down. And we'll see how Vanderbilt handles that punt return of Luther Burden, too. Obviously, that was the deciding factor in Missouri's first round game. We will see if Vanderbilt can handle it a little bit better. 3rd and 5, and a defensive penalty sets Missouri up for 1st and goal in Nate Noel for the touchdown. 7-0 Tigers as we wrap up the first quarter. Vanderbilt getting the ball back here. And their offense has been able to move a little bit. It's only been a quarter, but we have seen positive plays from Vanderbilt's offense, which gives me some hope. It's these. That's 3rd and 4s. Pavea takes it himself and actually gets it. So that's... Good job, Diego. Trust in the Mad Dog Pavea, but then they go backwards, back-to-back plays. 3rd and 13, pass thrown away. Vanderbilt is going to have to punt it back to the Tigers. A touchback gives it to Missouri on their own 20, but then a fumble. Fontenette picks it up. Ball on Missouri's 31. Pavea strikes quickly. 20-yard gain down to the 11. Give it to Cedric Alexander. Only gain of 2 inside the 10-yard line. 3rd and 8 at the 9. Vandy, Pavea finds Quincy Skinner for the touchdown to tie up the game here in the second quarter. 2 minutes, 30 seconds left. But Missouri, we know they can score fast. That Noel has ripped off some big runs. Luther Burden, certainly capable of breaking a big one open here. 4th and 7, though. Missouri, the Tigers have to punt back to the Commodores. Let's see if they can put together a little 2-minute drill here to potentially take the lead before halftime. Pavea has to throw it away on 2nd down. 3rd and 8. Penalty on the defense or offense. 3rd and 18. Penalty on the defense that time. Heartbreaking for Missouri. Have them on a 3rd and 18, and you get a 15-yard penalty and an automatic 1st down. 3rd and 7, Pavea finds Richie Hoskins to midfield, and then a sack, and that'll be halftime. Okay, seemed like we were gearing up for something exciting there before half, but not quite. 7-7. Not the offensive game we were quite thinking of. At least yet. I mean, Vanderbilt's off. Oh, we have him on a 3rd and 7. And there's Luther Burden. You know, once they start going to Burden, in the first game at least, they started going to him quite a bit after he got his first one, and that led to a Missouri touchdown. Burden gets him the big 3rd down conversion. They keep running with Noel, though. They are in field goal range. Down to Vanderbilt's 29. A 3rd and 5 here. Sacked him. 34. 51-yard field goal. Is up, is good. Missouri takes the 3-point lead on the Commodores. 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Again, Vandy, once again, outmatched. Once again, hanging in this game. Only down by 3. A minute and a half left in the 3rd. Picks up the 3rd and 3. Pavea will do it himself. Pavea to Richie Hoskins. I don't remember seeing his name in their first game whatsoever. And he has stepped up multiple times. Big catches in this one. Pavea goes for it on his own on 3rd down, comes up short. Vandy settles for the field goal, though, which again ties the game up with 11 seconds in the 3rd quarter. Vanderbilt hanging around. A 3rd and 9 for Missouri. Those 3rd downs, Vandy just not getting off the field on those 3rd downs. Just absolutely killing them. Mookie Cooper. Now Cooper's out, though. Cooper's hurt, but Missouri... And there's Luther Burden. There's that gosh dang Luther Burden. It was his punt return in the game against Arkansas that won Missouri the game. There was a 45-yard touchdown that might do the same and send Missouri to the Sweet 16. There's plenty of time for Vanderbilt, but the offense goes backwards, gets nothing, goes backwards. They have to punt it back to Missouri. Trust in Vandy's defense. See, their punt return defense has been much, much better than Arkansas's was, but their regular defense hasn't been. That's where they're getting in trouble. Missouri down to Vandy's 36, a 1st and 10 already. This one feels like it is going to be Missouri going to the Sweet 16. 3rd and 6, Vandy out of timeouts. 4th and 3, but the field goal is going to make it a 10-point game. It's up. It is good. Missouri up by 10. A minute and 6 to go. No timeouts remaining for the Commodores. Seems like the clock has struck midnight on this Cinderella. Pulled off probably the biggest upset we've seen yet in that round 1 win against Ole Miss. Not able to repeat it against Missouri. The Tigers are going to survive, move on to the Sweet 16. Round of applause for Vanderbilt, though. That's why we love this March Madness. Seeing little teams like Vandy get their shot, knock off big old Ole Miss, then you're just so emotionally exhausted from that big win. You're not able to get back up for the next game. They fall to Missouri. And who do we got next? They will play the winner of Iowa and Georgia. 96 overall Georgia, our 2 seed, 88 overall Iowa. Georgia came they were a 2-point conversion away from losing to 15 seed Cincinnati. You know, I feel like this one could go either way. Iowa was probably the most impressive of all the teams in the first round, but we'll see if that can translate. See who's going to the Sweet 16, who's setting up their date with the Missouri Tigers. And it will be the Georgia Bulldogs with the ball first. They certainly imposed their will early against the Cincinnati Bearcats, but this is not the Cincinnati defense they're going up against. 92 overall defense. Okay. You guys hear that? I didn't. Oh, what? Georgia scored? No, I wasn't saying anything about how good Iowa's defense was. No. Okay. Let's see how Iowa's offense can play against the 96 overall defense of Georgia. I don't know. I mean, Cincinnati was able to run the ball okay, so maybe Iowa will too. We'll see. 3rd and 4. Oh, McNamara tries to be the hero. You're not that guy, Cade. You're not that guy, buddy. Trust in Caleb Johnson. Trust in Leachy, your tight end. Those are the guys that are going to get you where you need to go, but you got to make sure they get the ball. You can't just be taken off all on your own like that. And, I mean, Carson Beck, we know in real life, does like to throw interceptions from time to time. I'm just going to put it out there. Just throw that possibility out into the universe if the college football gods happen to be listening. Just saying, Carson Beck likes to throw interceptions. 3rd and 7 for Iowa. Get it to Leachy. Get it to Leachy. It's not complicated. Caleb Johnson, Luke Leachy. That's all you got to do. No, Cade. Or Reese Vanderzee. I still can't believe that's a real guy. And name and get it to Luke Leachy. Name and picture like that, it does scream Iowa wide receiver. Right? It does make sense. Oh, brutal. Brutal. They actually had a good offensive drive going. Then the Iowa Hawkeyes fumble. Georgia recovers. And Iowa can't get off the field on third downs. It's always the biggest difference makers. Can you get off the field on third downs? Especially early in the drive like that. Could have gotten yourself decent enough field position. Potentially score, tied up before half. Not able to do it. You get another chance here. 3rd and 6. 3rd and 6 from Iowa's 38-yard line. Georgia picks it up again. Ouch. 1st and goal at the 1. I mean, this is a lot like how that first game against Cincinnati started, where Georgia just kind of jumped on them right away, but then Cincinnati kept hanging around, scored late, had a chance to win at the end. So not writing Iowa off yet, especially if we can get in here before half. We still got 30 seconds. 1st and goal at the 4. Cade, please stop taking it yourself, buddy. Iowa in for the touchdown. 10 seconds left in the half. 7-point game now, and it's going to be Iowa's ball to start the 3rd quarter. Feels like an awful big drive coming up here for the Hawkeyes. If they can put something together here. Gosh, I want Iowa to win. I just don't want Georgia to go to the Final Four. It's nothing personal against Georgia. Oh my goodness. 2 fumbles in this game. Iowa fumbled twice in this game. Georgia recovers both. Hand them 15 yards. Yeah, it's nothing against Georgia. I don't have a problem with the program itself. I just don't want the best overall team to just go to the Final Four. And we've seen a lot of upsets already, so I know Georgia can lose. I'd prefer them to lose to Iowa instead of moving on. But it's looking like Georgia is going to thwart those plans here. I mean, Iowa's got time. Down by 14. But against Georgia, it's going to be so tough to mount a comeback, I would have to imagine. But what am I saying? We just saw Cincinnati do it. Why can't Iowa? You got to go for it here, Iowa. No. 4th and inches. I understand punting there, but I feel like you got to go for it if you're in Iowa shoes. Speak it into the universe. Just speak it into the universe. Carson Beck likes to throw interceptions. The game's listening. Carson Beck throws an interception, and then Iowa loses 3 yards. Have to settle for the field goal, make an 11-point game. Carson Beck likes to throw multiple interceptions. Again, just put it out there. See what the universe brings back. They listened to us the first time. We'll see if they happen to still be listening. Their ears might have shut off after they said, we'll give you the 1. We'll give you the 1. But then your team settles for a field goal, so you're done. And speaking of done, it looks like that is the future of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Pull off the upset against LSU in round 1, but then Georgia gets the SEC revenge. Makes it an 18-point game. 3.5 to go. It would be at this point that I'd be going through my brackets and circling Georgia as this game seems to be over. 3 minutes to go, unless... I don't even know if there is an unless. So they have to score so fast and then get multiple onside kicks, but they keep getting sacked. He sacked McNamara so hard he hurt himself. That's how hard he just hit Cade McNamara. So hard he just took himself out of the game. Yep, turnover. That is going to do it. I am going to advance Georgia on my bracket over here. Feel free to do the same. I'm sure you guys all printed out brackets and everything and are following along. I'm sure of it. Georgia going to the Sweet 16. They will meet up with the Missouri Tigers. They are just rubbing it in at this point. And that will do it. The Iowa Hawkeyes eliminated. Going into the Sweet 16, we have got, let me get that all done. Number 8 seed Kansas State against 5 seed South Carolina is our first matchup. Then we have got 6 seed Missouri, 2 seed Georgia, 1 spot to the Final Four on the line. Sure seems like it's going to be Georgia, but let's go find out. The 3 of our Final Four in this region are in the SEC, South Carolina, Missouri, and Georgia. So let's go Kansas State. 85 overall South Carolina, 87 overall Kansas State. You guys probably know the overalls by now. I don't need to say them every single time. Alright, Kansas State's looked pretty dang good here so far. South Carolina looked pretty dang good against Clemson, though. So we'll see a couple faster quarterbacks. That defensive line of South Carolina might be the difference maker in this one. But this is why we play the games on the field, simulated. Let's see what happens. Our first Sweet 16 game here will be Kansas State and Avery Johnson starting with the ball and starting with a 15-yard penalty. South Carolina already playing dirty. Typical. I think Kyle Kennard gets a sack. 3rd and 13. Gosh. So 3rd and 13, you see the 13-yard gain. It's like, hey, we got it. No, 4th and 1. South Carolina takes over at their own 31 following the punt. Sellers with a QB run for 3. Yeah, Sanders, man. Sellers and Sanders is a deadly, deadly backfield combo for any team to try to bring down. It looks like, okay, 4th and 1. They're going to be punting. I was just going to say, it looks like they're really relying on the running game here so far. 3rd down, they went for the pass, but came up a yard short. So Kansas State takes back over here. Quickly got themselves, oh, Dylan Stewart hurt. That could be big. But it doesn't matter. Kansas State goes 3 and out again. In a punt and a 13-yard return. South Carolina on their own 43 to start this drive. Once Sellers gets going passing, their offense has just been so good. 3rd and 1, 1-yard rush. Move the sticks. First down, South Carolina into Kansas State territory here. But a 3rd and 7 at the 44-yard line. Kansas State, in a way, Kansas State's defense got off the field there. All depends on your perspective, right? The defense did get off the field, but the problem is the field goal block unit came on the field because they gave up a touchdown to South Carolina. 7-0 Gamecocks. Kansas State, another sack by Kyle Kennard. See, South Carolina is doing what I expected Clemson to do. This is even worse. This is crazy. That's already 4 sacks, I think. That having that defensive line is seems to be such a big part of these. And South Carolina's defensive line is the difference in this game right now. Multiple sacks, keeping Kansas State from doing anything. They had a little bit of a drive going there, got to around midfield, and they got sacked, 3 straight plays? I think Kennard's already got 2 or 3. Stewart got in there for 1. So we need to use your mobility, Avery Johnson. Get out of that pocket a little bit. Scramble around. Hit some throws on the run. Find Jace Brown for 28 yards. Down to South Carolina's 14. Kansas State looking to tie this game up here before halftime. There's Avery Johnson using his mobility, using his legs. 3rd and 5. Finds Keegan Johnson. Touchdown. Wildcats. 7-7 now. Minute 13. See if South Carolina can take the advantage back here before halftime. Good start. That'll do. A 40-yard run by your quarterback. Then a 30-yard pass to Lavardian. I have no idea who that is. 3rd and goal now from the 5 for South Carolina. Pass dropped. Holds him to field goal. You can live with that if you're Kansas State. Giving up a touchdown there would have been pretty devastating, especially with South Carolina getting the ball to start the 3rd quarter. Field goal, not the worst thing in the world. Especially when that drive started with a 40-yard run by the quarterback. 3rd and 8. I think they got the first down anyway because that was a big chunk of yards there, but then a 15-yard penalty on the end of it. The discipline of these teams is terrible. I've seen so many 15-yard penalties. The 2nd and 10, 3rd and 6 now for Kansas State. For South Carolina. 4th and 1, they do go for it. They trust in Sellers, and he gets it for him. Then Gage is having an incredible game. Puts South Carolina up by 10. Trust in Lenore Sellers on the 4th and 1, and he comes through for him. Now, pressure is on. There, Avery Johnson. Use those legs, buddy. Use those mobility. Use those legs. Giddens starting to get some runs going here too. If he can start, it's a little late to say if he can start, but if Giddens can start getting some good runs going in here, that really does help open up the whole offense. I was curious. I thought they might go for that. 4th and 3 at the 17. But I do understand. Take your 3, make it a 7-point game. Trust your defense here. -3 to start. 2nd and 13. It's going to be a 3rd and 9 for South Carolina at their own 28. Pass knocked away. Kansas State getting the ball back. 4 minutes, 40 seconds to go. Down by 7 and a short punt. They'll be at, midfield. Well, they'll be at their own 44. After a 5-yard penalty, Johnson gets 4 of those back. 2nd and 11, he gets 1 back. 3rd and 10 now. So first penalty backed him up 5 yards, and then Avery Johnson tried to run 3 straight plays, doesn't get the first down, has to punt it back. But now the defense has a 3rd and 4. Hate seeing their D tackle out. D tackle goes out, quarterback runs for 26 yards. Yeah, it's that South Carolina defensive line and Lenora Sellers been the big difference in this game. That 3rd and 10, game essentially on the line there, and they give up the first down to South Carolina. So even a field goal here essentially ends the game for the most part. Maybe a 2-score game, minute 40 left. It'd be awful tough for Kansas State. We're hoping for a missed kick there, something to give Kansas State a little bit of life, but minute 25 down by 10. Looks like we are going to get guaranteed an all SEC Elite 8 here. South Carolina will be waiting for the winner of Missouri and Georgia. South Carolina could 100% beat Georgia. Missouri probably could too with Luther Burden. It'll be tough, but at this point, with Kansas State out, I guess I'll root for South Carolina. If it's South Carolina, Georgia, I'll root for South Carolina. If it's South Carolina, Missouri, we're going for Missouri. But maybe Kansas State gets this onside kick? No, they sure don't. Scar picks up the onside kick, knees it out. South Carolina is headed to the Elite 8. And let's go find out who they will be matched up against. Georgia, Missouri. Yeah, I'm hoping Missouri can pull this off. I just don't want to see Georgia in the Final Four. It's like worst case scenario. I really don't want like Georgia to win this whole thing. I mean, we saw Oregon was a 95 and they lost. Did I go too far? Yeah. Oregon was a 95 and they lost to 88 Kansas State. Georgia's a 96 going against 88 Missouri. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Georgia, Missouri for a spot to the Elite 8 and a date with the South Carolina Gamecocks. I don't know. I'm weirdly optimistic that Missouri can pull this off. I have no real reason as to why. I've just liked what I've seen on Missouri. I like their rushing attack. They spread the ball around on offense. That punt return threat is always there as long as you can get stops on defense. With Luther Burden. Brady Cook's been playing well. I like what we're seeing out of the Tigers. I'd really like to see them pull this off. They got a 3rd one already down to Georgia's 24. What is with Georgia and the fumbles? What is Georgia doing with these fumbles? Are they greasing the ball? Are they cheating? That's the theory I am going to go with. Like, Georgia's just cheating. They knew they couldn't beat Iowa fair and square. So they greased up the footballs. Iowa fumbled a couple times and decided, hey, it worked against Iowa. Let's do it against Missouri too. And Missouri fumbles on their opening drive. But at least the Missouri defense does hold Georgia to a field goal attempt. The kick is up. The kick is good. A 3-0 lead for the Bulldogs. Liked what we saw out of Missouri's offense on that first drive, though. They were moving the ball really, really well until the fumble. That has a tendency to end a drive. Now they have to punt, though. They went... Oh, that was a pass. They ran the first two plays, went for a pass on 3rd down, come up short. Georgia's defense forces the punt. Now Missouri. Got to hold him to a field goal now. Carson Beck carving them up like a turkey here so far. 2nd and 6 at Missouri's 11. 3rd and 3 at Missouri's 7. Yep, touchdown. Touchdown, Bulldogs. 10-0 here. 3 minutes, 13 seconds left in the first half. We've seen every Georgia game start this way, and then it tightens back up. Like, they get off to the big lead early, and somehow the other team so far they have been able to come back and at least make it interesting at the end. I'm trusting Missouri can do the same. Carson Beck likes to throw interceptions. Let's see if that reaches Las Vegas in time. Another good drive Georgia's putting together here, though. Right down to Missouri's 31. Carson Beck, again, just picking them. Absolutely picking Missouri apart here. 17-0. Every Georgia game has started like this. Every single one. And they were a 2-point conversion away from losing Cincinnati. They easily could have lost to Iowa. Oh, maybe not easily, but they could have lost to Iowa. They easily could have lost to Cincinnati. You need Missouri's offense to show up here. Not happening in the first half. We need a big swing here in the second half from the Tigers to make this interesting. And Georgia's getting the ball first. Awesome. That's great. Terrific stuff. Carson Beck interception. I feel like he's thrown for like 400 yards in the first half. I think Beck's been unstoppable. Beck's just been unstoppable in this game. I don't know. This Georgia team, they came ready to play in this one. They didn't look nearly this good in their other games yet throughout this bracket. They just were waiting for an SEC opponent, I guess, somebody they were a little familiar with, and then we'll just beat them down. Seems to be the game plan. 24-0. Missouri does have a drive going here, but down to the 7. Noel in for the touchdown. Minute 46 left in the third. Yeah, I gotta go for 2 there. Make it 16, then score and go for 2, score and go for 2, and hey, it's a tie game, but down by 18. I mean, a quick 3rd and 15. Quick stop. Quick stop, quick score, Missouri. Bad punt. Burden. Good punt return. Ball on Georgia's 31. Now, can we make up 18? Nope, that's not going to do it. I was doing the math in my head of how can you make up 18 points in this little time. It was possible if they scored quickly. Instead, interception. Georgia seems to be cakewalking their way into the Elite Eight here. 18 points in 4 minutes. So it's got to be 3 touchdowns. Or 2 touchdowns, an extra point, and a field goal. Either way, it's got to be quick. We got to see something very, very quickly from the Missouri Tigers. Like right now. Like this play. Like that. That'll do. Going for the onside kick already. It's, yeah, 3 minutes left. You got... Yeah, your defense pretty much just can't give up first downs no matter where Georgia has the ball anyway. So 3rd and 10. Hey. Missouri getting that ball back. Really wish we didn't have that fumble earlier in the game. Let's see. They got to score. They have to not use any timeouts and score in like 30 seconds. Brady Cook running is not going to be the key to getting that done. Obviously have to go for it here. 4th down. That'll do her. Georgia is headed to the Elite Eight. I would say, obviously it's not really a surprise, but it kind of is just because we haven't seen any of these actually really good teams perform like they should. So it's kind of a surprise to see Georgia actually doing that. But we'll see. They got one more game here against South Carolina. Winner to the Final Four. I can't believe Georgia has done this, but they have made me a South Carolina fan for one game only. I'm going to be pulling for the Gamecocks to knock off Georgia. The winner, this is going to be a spoiler alert if you haven't watched the East Regional yet. I don't know why you'd be this far into this one if you haven't watched that one. Maybe a certain team you want to see, whatever. The winner of this will be facing Miami in the Final Four. Let's see, who's it going to be? I do think South Carolina's defensive line could give Georgia some trouble. And that Sellers-Sanders combo South Carolina has could move the ball. So there's definitely a recipe for South Carolina to punch their ticket to the Final Four here against the Bulldogs. That's not going to be a part of it, though. Giving up 36 yards runs to ETN on 3rd down. Not part of the successful formula South Carolina needs to be able to pull this off. An early 1st and goal for Georgia. We know Georgia starts off hot. We've seen it time and time again. That they start off really hot and then kind of peel back. That they didn't start off with a touchdown is potentially fantastic news for South Carolina. They were able to actually get a stop there, hold Georgia to a field goal. Now it's going to be Sanders and Sellers. See, Sanders and Sellers. Sanders and Sellers. A little 1-2 punch by South Carolina. Already got him down to Georgia's 28 here for a 3rd and 5. That was all Sanders. That wasn't even Sanders and Sellers. That was just Sanders and more Sanders. And guess what? Another dose of Sanders for you. Ties it up with their own field goal. 3 seconds left in the first quarter. End of the first quarter. Beck must have thrown a pick. I think Beck threw an interception. But into the universe, it was a little bit late, but it got to Vegas eventually. Beck turns it over. Carolina now, 2nd and goal at the 1. Adway punches it in for the Gamecocks touchdown. 10-3, South Carolina. Beck likes to throw picks. I'll throw it out there again, just in case. And if it doesn't get to Vegas in time, hopefully gets it to San Antonio in time for the Final Four. Because I did find we can do the Alamo Bowl, so we will be doing the Final Four in San Antonio, just like they are for the basketball Final Four. Okay, so 10-3 now, South Carolina. Georgia with a ball. Another big run by ETN. We haven't really seen him do a whole heck of a lot up until this South Carolina game. 3rd and 4. We got to get off the field there, South Carolina. Now back, it's been the tight end in ETN. This is 2 players we really hadn't seen much perform for Georgia, stepping up in the Elite 8 game. But again, South Carolina, bend but don't break. Both at Georgia's scoring drives now. They got inside the 10-yard line, but then stalled out, had to settle for 2 field goals. Now, can South Carolina, with 30 seconds, how much do you risk here if you're South Carolina? They did go for a pass. He is short. That's fine. Take it to halftime. South Carolina 10-6 lead with the ball to start the 3rd quarter. Sanders and Sellers. Sanders and Sellers. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. They did. They did. It wasn't enough for a first down, but they did keep it simple. So I like to see that. It's just I would like the sticks to move at some point here as well. Somebody's got to cover this tight end. Somebody's got to go guard this Delp character. 3rd and 11 though for Georgia. See, he went for Delp again. Somebody went to cover Delp. I told him, somebody go guard Delp. He tried to throw it to him. It is incomplete. South Carolina getting the ball back here. 2nd and 12 at their 3rd and 8 at their own 8. They're keeping it simple, but they're not moving the sticks. Good punt though, and a limited return. Okay. So Georgia at their own 43. Delp again. What is with these? Beck to Delp, just constantly. 3rd and 10. Pass thrown away. Are they at 53 yards? Kicks up, kicks good. It is now a 1-point game. South Carolina in the lead. 7 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. This one is going quick. Not a lot of scoring. A lot of run of the ball. 3rd and 7 for South Carolina. There's Gage. Gage was their big guy. Big play guy against Kansas State. Steps up huge against Georgia. 3rd and 2 now at Georgia's 25. Pass thrown away. They have to settle for a field goal. Kicks up, kicks good, makes it a 4-point game. But Georgia still yet to find the end zone. Down by 4, less than 4 minutes to go. Spot for the Final Four. Oscar Delp, can I help you? Can you please stop? How many catches does this Oscar Delp have? This is insane. Georgia at the 50-yard line. 2nd and 10. Penalty on Georgia. Backs them up. 2nd and 15 now. 3rd and 4 at South Carolina's 45-yard line. Oscar Delp. Somebody guard Oscar Delp. Like, my goodness. I don't care if Georgia scores a touchdown, whatever. Just don't let it be to Oscar Delp. 3rd and 5 at the 15-yard line. Penalty. 3rd and 10 at the 20-yard line. 4th and 10, and they get it. And then a touchdown to... Oh, my gosh. 4th and 10 for Georgia. They get the first down. The next play, they get a touchdown. Okay, now South Carolina... Okay, we gotta go slow mode here. Hold on. Back. Reset here. 3-point lead for Georgia. Minute 10-ish left. 2nd and 10 for South Carolina at Georgia's 44-yard line is where we are at. Trip to the Final Four on the line. Let's get to slow mode. Let's watch the rest of this game. Minute 16 to go. At the 44, you really only need one more first down to set up a field goal attempt to try to force overtime. So let's see if South Carolina can pull it off with Sellers dropping back to pass. He's got time, takes his check down. Is that just is 3 Sanders? Is that a first down? Ooh, 3rd and inches. Sellers only 72 yards passing so far here today. Sets up a 3rd and inches. This has got to be Sanders. Even getting a 3rd and inches probably sets them up for a field goal attempt if they would want one. No, Sanders is number 3 or number 5. I don't remember who number 3 is. Sellers is dropping back to pass and gets sacked. Now you can't kick a field goal. Now you got to go for this. 59-yard field goal. You better not try it, South Carolina. You got to go for this. You just can't get sacked there if you're Sellers. The one thing you can't do is get sacked. Oh, that is brutal. So a 4th and 7 now. I mean, we still don't know what they're doing. They're killing a lot of time. They are going for a 59-yard field goal. They're going for a 59-yard field goal to try to force overtime. No good. That sack on 3rd and inches. Instead of just giving it to Sanders, they got fancy, tried to pass, get sacked. Game over. The Georgia Bulldogs, the 2 seed out of the West region, go into the Final Four. There were so many times it seemed like Georgia was going to lose, and they just didn't. They just didn't. But they set their date. Good for Georgia. Head to the Final Four. Going against the Miami Hurricanes in one of our Final Four matchups. We got one more team to find out who's taking the last spot in the Final Four. It is going to be in the South region. That will be next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope you're enjoying this whole tournament. I will see you then. Until then, take it easy.